Nothing, man. Nothing. Just enjoying your fine company.
I'm lightheaded. That was funny.
That was funny.
Well, hey, welcome to. I think we're episode 3 now, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I know we're doing an extra one at this point, right? I know we said like 2 a month, but since Anchors has some IRL busyness going on, and we can't drop the highlights in between, and I know nothing about editing. I guess I can start learning. We decided to maybe do a short episode. I don't know. This could be long. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we're vibing. We're vibing. We definitely didn't prepare for this one. That's true.
That's true.
But yeah, welcome to episode 3 of the Aeflic Shoctor podcast. We still don't have a name pending, but we're here. We're feeling good, but we're feeling a bit off. There's a lot of weird stuff that's been going on in the game, so we're just gonna kind of discuss all the stuff that's been on our minds. But I kind of want to talk about where we've been. Man, you just came from vacation.
Yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, I didn't even ask you. You didn't say anything. Do I look tanner? Maybe I always look tan.
You do look a little like you look tanner on like the top of the arm, but not the bottom. You look like you didn't.
Hey, I look like that dark meat coming from the chicken.
You look like you didn't evenly cook yourself, dude.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Talking about it.
Yeah, see, when you did this side right here is like so much brighter.
You can't do that. That's how they make sure they know who you are. Your actual color. They're like, yeah, lift it up. It's like, okay, yeah.
Your actual color. How was vacation, dude?
It started off rough. We missed our first flight. They kind of scuffed us. They asked this redundant question of like, are you traveling with a child under 2? It's like, yes, I am. But he's already on the ticket. But when you go there to get your tickets, they ask you and when you do the pre-check-in, they ask you that same question. But essentially, what happens is they're asking you if you're having another child randomly there with you. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm traveling with a child under 2 that's gonna be on my lap. So I say that, and they're like, you need to speak to the agent. That took 20 minutes. We missed our flight. I'm not gonna get into it. Then we got bumped to another flight. So essentially, we were at the airport from like 7. We didn't fly out until noon, and we have a baby, so we're there for like 5 hours.
Yeah, that's rough, bro.
But vacation itself was great. It was hot, man. It was like 107. That was like the feel. It was 107. We had a pool, so that was cool. We didn't really mess with the beach too much. We went there like early in the morning when it was cool. We just kind of hung out and really didn't do like much anything. Obviously, COVID's, and we were in South Carolina, and that's kind of a hot spot. So we just chilled and hung out with some family and friends. It was good. It was really good. It was just nice. We haven't had a vacation like a year and a half, so it was much needed for the fam.
I'm glad you had a good time. It's good to get away, especially during right now. I think it is a very turbulent and weird time. So having the opportunity to feel a bit more normal and feel some normalcy by going on vacation must have felt great.
And I mean, the flying, that was a little sketchy, right? But they did a good job overall, besides us missing those flights, to make everyone feel pretty comfortable, and there's good separation. So a little, like I said, a little scary, but at the end of the day, I think it played out well. We didn't really go out anywhere when we were there. We just kind of anchored up in the house. But I'm glad to be back. It was weird. Like I came back and I was like, I was thinking like I was gone for like months. It was like the weirdest thing. I was gone for a week and come back, and I'm like, I get on Netflix like, oh, bro, there's gonna be so much new stuff, right? And then there's nothing.
There's literally nothing.
I was like, oh, I was only gone for a week. I'm an idiot. But let's talk about that hair, boy.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. So while you were gone,
you had that color over your shoulder right there, kind of.
Oh, you mean on the Spider-Man poster? Yeah. So I think the color grading of my webcam, I guess it's very off, because when I look at the poster right there, it's more of a dark red, and then this, honestly, I just washed my hair. It looks orange, but it honestly looks more pink in real life. It's almost like an electric pink. But yeah, I just had like a friend.
Electric pink. See, that's why I was trying to get you to say that before we even started. I was like, what color is it? Oh, it's pink. It's like electric pink. Now we're okay.
Yeah, Travis has been roasting me, calling me Charmander on stream.
Charmander. Was that the baby one?
Charmander, yeah, that's like the baby Pokemon with the fire on the tail.
Charizard is the big boy.
Yeah, Charizard, the big one. You should be calling me Charizard, bro. I'm built, bro. I'm huge.
Charmander is the little one, and then
Charmeleon is like the middle one, and then Charizard is the big one.
Okay. I mean, it looks good, man. It looks good.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine come over. I hadn't seen her in a long time because of COVID and stuff like that. And she was just like...
Take the earmuff off real quick.
The earmuff?
And then give me a side profile. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if they faded that. I'm curious if they did like a bald fade right there. just right in like. So
No,
like,
that's what I want to do next. Because if you see right here, you can still see some black right there. I told her to like conserve some of this stuff because what I'm gonna do is get the fade once the hair grows in a little bit more.
Yeah, 'cause it's gonna be like this, like, because right now it's like a line of demarcation. But boom, you get that bald fade in it, and it's like
Yes, sir. That skin fade, bro. The bald fade hurt because they hit you with, or is it no? The skin fade hurts. The bald fade doesn't. Am I confused?
I think they're the same thing.
No, because one uses just the like the razor, but the other one uses like a single blade that like almost like they do like on your neck.
So what my guy does is he hits the normal doohickey, right? You know what I'm talking about, the thingamabob, the thing with the doohickey on the flip side. This is the normal buzzer.
Okay.
With no attachment on it.
Yeah.
No extendo clip.
No extendo clip. No Draco.
Yeah, no muzzle brake. Just has a normal thing on it, and like he hits me with it. He does it around my ear, and then he has this magical device. It's almost like a beard trimmer. Like the part, like I hit this part right here with it. It's like, and it gets real close, and he hits me with that, like on, like boom right here, and then all around in the back, and like ball fades it, and it's just like super like tiny hair. Whatever. But that's what I'm talking about, the bald fade.
Yeah. I think definitely getting this cleaned up would be good because once the hair on the side gets a little too long.
I was gonna get stuck, bro.
Yeah, once the hair on the side starts to get too long, I do agree. Like you want to keep that thin profile like on the head.
Yeah, well, you got the color. That's what I'm saying though. You do the bald fade, and it's gonna be like the transition is gonna pop it. It looks good, I'm saying, but it's gonna look great.
Yeah, man. So I colored my hair. I got bored, and a friend of mine wanted to come over. We just spent the whole day hanging out. That was the day you came back. I remember we just talked for like briefly once you came back. But while you were gone, I just been chilling, man. Like.
I mean, there's not much to do though. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that. Your friends and family come over. It's like, what you been up to? It's like, dude, we've been nothing.
Yeah, like, and you can't be like, oh, I've been grinding in this video game and I'm doing this thing. Like they won't. They'll be like, okay, but yeah, I've been playing a new game. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. It's been fun. I've been playing that like on stream. It's been a good time. Yeah, it's super cool, open world, very atmospheric. There's always something going on your screen, whether it's like visually with like the lighting or like leaves blowing up. Like they did a really good job with the atmosphere. So that's been a fun time. Super beautiful game. Crazy that it's PS4 exclusive though, which is kind of a bummer.
I swear, I've been like following this for like a little bit, like kind of getting hyped up about it, and I swear I thought it was on PC.
Yeah, and same thing happened to me with Spider-Man when it came out around last year, I think it was. Like, I was like, bro, once it comes out, bro, I'm gonna get it on PC. They're like, ooh, bad news, it's only on PS4. So, I mean, they're giving you good reasons to buy a PS4, but we're so close to the next gen, and I'd so much rather just play on my PC that
I'm just
having a PS4
like,
sucks.
Hey, oh, you want this, you need that. You want this, you need this. And then it's just like this constant, like, can we just...
A universal, everyone gets everything.
Dude, come on. Yes,
I agree. And I think Xbox doing a good job with that. We're just kind of talking about whatever right now, but the Xbox showcase was pretty cool. There were some cool games, and every single game was Xbox 3 or it's not, excuse me, not Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, I think they call it, and PC. Every game is also going to come out on PC, even if it's an Xbox exclusive. So,
or like, okay, at the very least, Xbox or PS4 exclusive or PC exclusive for like a month or 3 months, and then release it elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be, maybe that's what they do. I don't know. But
that's better than nothing. I agree. I think that happened with they made a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remake for just the campaign, and it came out a month before on PS4, and then it came out on Xbox and PC. But it's like, I was cool with that, but then it's like, bro, you're gonna make me wait a month? Everyone's already played it, and now I gotta wait a month, try to hide and not see like everything and get it spoiled. So it's rough regardless, but there were some cool games. I'm very happy to see Halo, like a brand new Halo game, come to PC.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical when I watched it, but the first opening cinematic was disgustingly bad, I thought. But then you know, as soon as he rolled out and was doing his thing, Master, my boy, you know,
the Chief, bro.
Chief, dude.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was dope. I liked it. I mean, I know some people were, you know, they had their gripes about it. The lasso or whatever that was. What is it called? Grapple hook.
Yeah, the grapple hook.
Weird. I don't know if is it tribes, is it not? It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you've been doing this for so long, Master Chief. We're gonna give you like your next upgrade is a grapple hook. It's like, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's something that's weird with it is like it feels like they're almost trying to go down like a Doom route of giving you like all of these toys to play with. But with Doom, there's this fast pace of you feel like you're always moving, you're always dodging. But with Halo, it's slow. So when you have a grapple hook like that, like you would hit the grapple onto an enemy and it would take a certain amount of time for you to get to the enemy. And it felt very slow. I agree.
Yeah.
But the open world seems cool. I think having an open world kind of like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed will kind of make it cooler.
Yeah,
But that also might take away from the whole cinematic aspect of what makes Halo campaigns so great. So
I mean,
it's a mixed bag.
I'm curious how it plays out, because I think in 2020 you have to do that with games. Because in the back of your head you always have this like, oh, I'm in this game path. Like you see everything, right? But you know that you're like stuck on this like very like narrow pre-scripted, which you still get in open world, but it's much different. And I think in 2020 we need that to feel more immersed. Like, yeah, we get the graphics, we've had graphics for so long, but we need better AI, we need better game content inside of it. I think open world does it almost better, because you don't mask stuff behind, like it's like a play, you know. They have those like the curtain things come down, it's like, oh, we know those aren't real houses. You know, that's my thing. So I think it's a good thing. We'll see how it plays out, though. Yeah,
it'll definitely. It's at the end of the day, I think it's a change up that Halo needed, because it's been the same formula for basically 20 years now, and having a little bit of something to shake it up. It's needed, I think, for the franchise, for them to keep it going.
For sure.
But outside of that, when it comes to Planetside, I've been playing and grinding out the summer directive, and that was a rough amount of time having to do gameplay that I absolutely hate. And we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more, but the summer directive it's been something that has been taken very, I'm trying to figure out what words to use here. There's been very mixed reception on the receival of the summer directive, whether it's how it was released, the lack of hype up. There was no talk or discussion to the community about we have a summer directive coming. It kind of just came out of nowhere,
which in some ways is cool, though. It's like, hey, for content just rolled out, right? And like I get that. So like it has its negatives and its positives, but it's still good, right? Like that thought of it, like, hey, we're just gonna give it, here you go. You weren't ready for it.
And it's free content technically at the end of the day, but it's very minuscule, I'd say, just from the rewards of it.
Well, I think the biggest issue with doing that in a game like Planetside is the atmosphere, the apparatus that we play Planetside, and I'm just using words that I think fit in. So if I'm wrong, let me know. But the apparatus that Planetside fits in, when we do something small like that, the counterweight that is coming can be way worse, right? So we got hitching.
Yeah.
And everyone had it, but it's bad, so we get like this small thing that I'm not even interested in, right? Because I don't want to do some of the stuff that it's about, but then I get the result of hitching. So we need to be careful when we're doing small updates like that. It's great to throw it out, but if you throw it out and there's worse problems, right? And then that's just the hitching. Like there's other things that I think with the update and the way that it was worked almost made it worse than kind of this free little mini content, right?
Yeah, I'd say even because it's almost a two-sided sword it's two different swords at the end of the day. There's players like you who don't want to do it at all, that are negatively impacted at the addition of it, whether it's from your gameplay experience of you not being able to play with as much performance as you usually do because of the hitching, or it's because other people are doing all these things to cheese the game in order to get it.
Right, and more maxes, man.
Yeah, because if we overview the objectives that you have to do to get the directive, one is completely impossible to get. It's like get repair ribbons, and you have to get 200 of them. That I don't know anybody who's done that one, but the other ones are
hey, shout out to you hardcore engineers out there repping all
yeah. Thank you for the ammo, bro.
Those maxes that I keep putting those decimators in and keeping them alive,
Oh wait, you hitting them with the negative? Damn, hey, leave them alone, bro.
They're
just playing the game. They're just trying to get their assault, or what's it called, their NG armor, bro. Just let them live.
Yeah. It's fine.
But the other objectives you have to complete are, I'll just talk
Bro,
about the last level. Go ahead, bro.
I know this is we're off kilter here. Whatever. This is C4 in the decimator spot. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Can we talk about it?
I'm confused. What do you mean?
C4 in the decimator slot. Like, you have the option to put C4 there. Let's just talk about it.
Okay, so as a heavy assault, instead of having your Deci or whatever other rocket you want to use, which, by the way, all the rockets are useless outside of the Deci in comparison, but, and we could totally talk about that too, I guess, but, so you want to...
better from afar. Go ahead, though.
You look better from afar. Yeah, you match with me a little more. You're not as close. You're not as... I'm not, like, towering below you.
I'm just bigger, so, I mean, that's why...
All right, relax, bro. I'm pretty sure I'm taller than you, but okay. So instead of having a Deci there, you think that you could also... It would be beneficial if you could also put C4 there?
And again, I'm sure it's broken in some regard. Like, you're not giving something up, but you're giving up the Deci, which I don't know. I just feel like the Deci with an NG is just almost useless. Like, I see it like an NG in a max. It's just like, what's the point of even trying to bring it down? Sometimes the C4, I feel like I actually have like. I can actually do a little bit with it. I'm just curious your thoughts on it. I mean, it's probably stupid. But... Because
C4 is far more... So, I guess to bring it back to me doing the Directive, I had to play as a max and get like 100 kills as a max. And I'd never play... When I came back after I quit for 5 years, I did not pull a max until months later. I came back in March. Yep. So, it's been 4 months. And I still haven't pulled a max until this Directive came out.
And I'm like, is that Slendy I Q spotted? I'm like, oh, he's behind that max. No, he is the max. And then I was like, there's other people from the outfit doing it together.
Dude,
and I was just like, dude.
All of the best infantry players that you can think of, like Slendy, Saiyan, Richard, all of us were in max suits trying to get this, dude. It was hilarious.
And I was thinking, just get out of there.
Once you left, bro, you left your post and everything went to hell. I'll be honest, you went on vacation, you came back, we're all in max suits, just
I'm saying, dude. It's like when I alt tab out and someone's like, hey, Aeflic, watch, Rabbit's like, hey, Aeflic, can you watch my frag video? Like Rabbit, what are you doing? That's weird.
Dude, why are you blasting him like that?
And then we watch it, and then we come back to the game, and it's like the base is gone. My team's like all the way pushed up, like it's like I think the fight's over, and then I alt tab out, and I come back, and the base is over, I'm dead. I was like, what happened? Only gone for 30 seconds.
Essentially that happened, except with the grand scale of things. You left your post for too long. But my biggest observation was that I wasn't dying to heavy shooting rockets at me. It was light assaults with C4. Like, they would just instant kill me. Because the C4's effectiveness is so much better than the Deci's effectiveness on a max suit.
They took the splash away from the Deci. And I am a bad decimator user, okay? I will admit that, since the splash radius is down. But dude, I miss... Like, there needs to be a bot, because I'm pretty sure I miss about 90%. 9 out of 10 shots. I miss now.
I'm being told your volume is very low. Let me increase you. Can you say something?
Yo. Yeah, that's too close. Let me just do normal.
Alright, you should be good now.
Damn, bro, my volume's too low, man.
It's because you left again, bro. You left your post. But yeah, like, again, infantry elitists, bro. You're like your top players that you would assume would always be playing infantry. Just your bolters. I was seeing Darson playing as a max. Your favorite light assaults. Everyone just playing max suit, and it was and it makes sense because everyone's pretty burnt out, I guess, from PIL. Like, we've just been grinding, trying to get better, get back in the zone and stuff like that. And we at the end of the day, it's like we're kind of just in a trolley mood now because we've been so serious for so long.
Right.
Now that we have a reason to just be in a max suit all the time, like CrossJohn muted me because I killed him so much as a max suit. Dude. So it's hilarious. But at the end of the day, I agree that if having something more effective, if you were a heavy and you could have C4 and you could, Max is holding a corner and you could kind of come up and throw the C4, kind of how it's like a medic would.
Maybe you only get one or something. Maybe it's a way to balance it. You only get one. I don't know. I'm just because the decimator just feels like, oh, hey, maybe you're gonna hit that ESF when you shoot it.
Yeah. There is that, like, because when you get that and you get the fly swatter on your screen because you just destroyed some kid flying too low, that does feel good. I think.
But it's just so random. Like, it's so like it just does not feel effective, especially against maxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think
in large fights, which is what Planetside is about, right?
I agree. I think the Deci should be more effective against the max, but I don't think it should be a one-hit kill.
I agree. I'm okay with that.
So it's like, how do you make that better?
Dude, I don't know. It's just I think part of the issue is, and like with maxes having auto repair, which is quite effective. Okay, I understand you hit auto repair and it's very slow, right? You go in the corner and it slowly gets you back up. Okay, fine. Same thing with an engineer, like, and the fact that you can stack engineers on a max and get like more rep out of it. I think like, for me to shoot a decimator, take away what half of a max health or so, or maybe a little bit less than that, and then by the time I've reloaded and shot you again, and you're pretty much full health, you know, that scenario just doesn't play out very well. It negates the decimator. It makes it, I mean, in that case, it makes it almost feel useless. So I feel like as a solo player, or if I'm with a squad or something, like I have to kill the engineer, but to do that most of the time you have to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
But if he gets res because the medic's behind him, or they toss a resonate 400 feet, I don't know. We don't have to stay on the topic too long. It's just
no. I think that was a good little side topic, because I agree. Like the Desi doesn't feel, and I never really knew the other side of it until I started doing the Directive, because I just don't play max. But I didn't really realize the difference in effectiveness until I grinded out the implant. Because again, one of the objectives in order to get the Directive completed is to play as a max or to kill maxes. But killing maxes is far beyond harder than just playing a max suit and just killing people. You're a super suit.
Brother. Dude, these maxes are running around with impunity, another large word that you might have to cross-reference. And like there's just no, and the TTK on VS and TR maxes, it's scary, man.
Yeah,
it's scary.
I agree. But to kind of go over the other things that you have to do for it, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, sorry. I mean,
for the summer directive. Yeah. It's the summer directive is like the overarching thing for it. But what you have to do is get a bunch of kills as a max or kill other maxes, but you're gonna do the max part. Kill vehicles while operating a vehicle. That one took forever. Shout out Josh for flying a Liberator for me. I was driving a Prowler by myself and getting like 20, I think I had 17 kills in an hour because I was just driving around as a Prowler looking for things to kill.
Grinding. You have to get out of it and push it, and it's just so heavy it goes nowhere.
Nah, dude, dude, driving the Prowler, when I first started it, it was like I had no idea what I was doing, and I slowly got better at it. But it's not like infantry where you get better at infantry and then you're like, oh, I'm way better, I'm killing more people. I got better at a Prowler, and I was just sitting there like, bruh, where the enemies at, dude? Like, what am I gonna kill? And then even if I did find enemies, it was always a corner battle of like, there's this big canyon to my left, and then there's people down there, and I'm right here. I'm gonna shoot, boom, boom, and I'm just gonna come back around the canyon, reload, go out again.
Scene that you're painting, it's gross to me. It's disgusting. It's like eating Brussels sprouts. Doesn't matter how you cook them, they're awful. And the fact that you're still talking about it just makes me very upset.
It's horrible. And this is what we've all been doing. Like Slendy has done it on 2 characters so far. I've only done it on 1. Saiyan's been doing it. Who else has been doing it? Travis has been doing it. A bunch of us have been doing it. It is horrible. If you look at our Fizu stats, players.
The reason, okay, we do want to offend vehicle players that are spawn camping the spawn from 400 meters away. But what I'm trying to say though,
outside of render distance, all the way out there.
The reason that I think we have an issue with this is it's an infantry exclusive implant.
It's not even just that. The reward before it is a weapon camo that's only available on your infantry weapons.
But to get it, you can't just play infantry. I would like more options. Like you have at least 6 options to do as infantry, right? For the last one, because I think you need 5 or 6 to get it. You should have enough options as infantry to get the reward, right? Because it's for infantry. Could you imagine? It's like, hey man, the best main battle tank new gun comes out right now. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And it's like, hey, you need to get 1,000 Liberator kills in a Liberator. You're like, dude, I can't fly. Have you seen me fly? I would never get it. I could play for the rest of my life. I would never get it. And it's like, hey, it's like I can't fly. You know, I can't fly.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. It's not that bad. I'm exaggerating it, but that's
I would argue that it is that bad, but it is pretty bad.
The gameplay is.
So So yeah, kill vehicles in a vehicle, kill maxes, or kill as a max. What were the other ones? There's the
It's like tickle a point with a feather or something like that. I don't know how you do it.
It's sit AFK on a point and get ticks, and what that does is you have to remember this is also like an MMO in itself. So you have the ability to communicate with the other faction via yell chat or via tells and stuff like that. So many people have abused the fact that they could go to the dead continent, and I already know what you're imagining when I say dead continent. You're thinking of Hassan. So everybody goes to Hassan and they go and avoid each other in order to flip these points and do the opposite of what the game's supposed to do. You're not using your weapon at all. You're just, if you see the enemies flipping A point and they're not touching B point anymore, you run to B point, flip that. And then what Richard Sane and I would do is we would play on a tower, and you know the point is usually right underneath the spawn room.
Hey, don't BM yourself here. Go ahead.
No. This is different. We would flip the point. We would kill people, and then we would run away
together. Okay.
Yeah. We were together. We were together on the same team. We were together, and we're playing TR. We would kill everybody on the point, flip it together, then run away and hide. And they would be like, "Where'd they go?" And they'd be like, all right, they probably left. They flipped the point, and then we just come and kill them again over and over. Rinse and repeat until we like got a bunch of ticks.
I mean, that's the way to do it. That is actually like a decent way of doing it.
It's a decent way of doing it, but the game's objective is capture bases, capture territory, conquer the continent.
At least you're not like...
But we're not trying to capture the base.
Hey, Shoctor, can you get on DR? I'm on NC. We're going to flip this. We're going to flip it back and forth. Type of
and
thing.
that is something many people have done.
For sure.
There's nothing really that they can do. It's not like team killing, or excuse me, not team killing, but like stat boosting, where it's like, okay, meet me at this base that no one's at, put a beacon or a Sunday down, and I'll just kill you over and over again so I can get this gun unlock. This is like, I'm just going to keep flipping the point, and they can't track this, so it's fine. It's okay. And people have done that. I've gone to bases and they're like, bro, don't kill us. We're flipping points. Like we're trying to get the directive.
Help us. We're trying to get the implant.
It's horrible.
No, it is bad. And again, we get why the devs, I get that, like that implementation is just sucks because you don't know how at this point you probably do know how the community is going to take that. They're going to do the road easily traveled. That sounded terrible. But two things. Is that a spider behind you on the wall? Chat's asking.
No.
Me. Okay.
No, that's just the hole in the wall. I could it's just a random hole.
The dead continent. You do know if you go to Hassan and there's no one on it, like if you just kind of sit there, you can hear there's so much vibrant wildlife on the continent.
Yeah,
you typically don't hear. So really, it's not a dead continent. It's pretty active.
It's a peaceful continent at the end of the day. Isn't it?
And when the tanks and the Sunders are crashing through the forest, like the larger animals run away, but you can really, if you kind of go out there, you can actually you can see them. And it's just kind of it makes me feel like Star Wars, when you're on those like weird planets and like those ones with they look like elephants, but they're like deer almost.
Yeah, you're on Endor and there's all the fucking Ewoks and shit like that. That's bonkers, dude. Yeah, you're right. Hassan's basically just Endor, and
it's popping. Wildlife is popping, dude. But you don't get that usually because no one, I don't ever go there on my stream. People don't, people are like, what are you talking about? I never see that. But it's like when you're on Hassan, it's popping, right? There's a lot of fights and things going on. But I'm never on the off continent, so you guys don't get to see that. But it's something that I think gets missed. And I appreciate the devs. Shout out to the devs for putting that in. Yeah,
thanks for the wildlife, the atmosphere. But there's two more things you have to do. It's called tour guide. So I drive a vehicle and I have to get gunner assist. So I have to let other people kill things for me while I drive this vehicle. Shout out Kuhamis for doing that with me. I really needed a gunner. And the last one is get kills. Basically, the only thing that's actually infantry is get kills with the super soaker or the squirt gun or whatever it's called.
Hey, that's the one thing that it's nice. It's like, oh man, I'm fighting, 3 people and then also this other good player, and it's like, oh, thank God, 3 of them have the super soaker, and you just murder everyone and you feel great about yourself.
And I was kind of trolling during internals last week. I know it pissed you off. I pissed him off. I was just using the super soaker, bro. I was squirt gunning everyone, and I was horrible. It was so bad that I was
going -40. Kwai not using his mic. I just get, oh man.
Well, the bad news with that one is I stopped using the super soaker then, and I was using a real gun, but I was already in such a trolly, I don't care mood that I just kept dying anyways, but whatever. So those are all of the objectives that you have to do, and once you finally do those, you get some ISO, You don't get any directive points anymore from this, by the way, which is like a big thing that people like. They like to farm up their directive score.
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so there is no directive score increase you get when you finish it. You get a camo that looks like modern art, like, you know, that whole throw up modern art thing where you just throw a bunch of colors on like a canvas.
It's popping though. I mean, I don't know about I haven't seen the camo.
For us that play on low cam,
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm talking about modern art like that. Like I get on Facebook and they do the little spinny thing. He lets it go and like all the colors hit it. Like, oh, that's pretty in that scroll.
Yeah. But that's like on a flat canvas. When you take like an MSWR and you wrap it around a gun, it just looks like somebody just threw up on it, and it didn't look good, at least on TR.
Look, I don't know if it's the camo or not, or if this has already been in game, but I've been seeing people that it's like this like red and blue camo, dude. And it's like I'll be fighting TR and and you know, like at the corner of your eye you see like a shade of blue. You're like, okay, he's fine. But then it's like a TR guy, or vice versa. It's like a friendly that has a little bit of red in it, and I start popping him. It's crazy, man. They got and then same thing with pink camo, right? I mean, yeah, you have accent of the faction color, but dude, it scuffs everything up. Like,
true, I agree.
I dislike it.
I remember we were playing like a scrim, and Monkey wears tech camo. And I think Greg was also wearing tech camo. This is like pickups or something like that. So Greg was on the other team, Monkey's on my team. And whenever I would see tech camo, I would just shoot it because it's Greg. If I don't kill him quickly, he's just gonna insta kill me.
Exactly.
And I would just always shoot Monkey, be like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, I keep thinking you're Greg, man. I'm so sorry.
Just like, get that monkey off my back. You know what I'm saying?
True. Like it's like one of those, bro. I'm really trying to cover my bases here and make sure I don't die.
Dude, that should be our intro.
Just use.
That's lame. Sorry. It looks.
I wear a hat,
cool,
bro.
I know. I'm thin, but never mind. Go ahead. That's my intro.
But the final level of the Summer Directive, once you complete it, is you get the Surfer title. So in front of your name, you can call yourself Surfer Aeflic, Surfer Shoctor.
Which is honestly, it's not a bad title.
That's a pretty good title. I like it. I have Snowblower on my TR though. I kind of like that one more. I still use the Happy Holidays banner that I got in 2014, but. Outside of that, it's also the you get the Firestorm implant, and the Firestorm implant, what it does is once you fully level it up with your ISO and you upgrade it to level 5, it increases the fire rate of a weapon whenever you get a kill by 8% for 3.5 seconds, and if you get a headshot with the weapon, then it does that 8% increase but over the course of 5 seconds. And that, upon adding it to the game, that was the only thing that it said. That's all it said. You would just, there were no what's the word? There were no repercussions for having that, which makes sense. You're getting rewarded for killing people, and you're getting even more rewarded if you kill someone with a headshot. So it had uses, obviously, because it's like I can effectively increase my gun's DPS by 8%. But what ended up happening is before anybody even used it, I guess to roll it back a little, the devs announced that the Summer Directive's coming out and that the thing that's going to come out with it is the Firestorm implant. This is what it does, and it's available on test server. Feel free to go test it out. If you go to test server, unless you have to have 100,000 ISO to get it, or you have to finish the directive in 1 day because the implant's going to come out the next day. So I
didn't think about that. Wow.
It was the way they rolled this out. Horrendous. Like I don't like to be like, I guess, biased or mean against the devs. Like I try to keep it kind of a middle ground.
It gets, because everyone was talking about it before it dropped, and they're like, this is gonna be OP. It's like when the Thumper came out, or what's the Punisher with that with the under barrel, it like would push you away or whatever.
The impact nade that comes from the underbarrel?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
Like, everyone was like,
the one for the light assault, right?
This is cancer. Yeah, like this is awful. Like,
it's gonna ruin the game.
And it's like, bro, relax. We've been here for 8 years. Like, it's annoying, but there's not gonna be like, yeah, okay, let's say Goku all got on there or all using it. It would be annoying for like that moment. But like these things are so few and far between for the most part that like, yeah, like in when they're debuting it, it's kind of like, why put this into the game? It's kind of cancer, but it's just, I guess, is one more thing that you have to deal with. But realistically, I mean, you just never see these things very often, so it's not a big deal. And sometimes we really do harp on the dev team, and yeah, they do some weird things, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, whatever, dude, chill.
I would argue this was warranted though, because it's almost like I remember this was a big thing. It's like, subscribe, pre-order this game in order to receive beta access for this other game, right? And the other game, is coming out in 3 weeks, and it's like, This isn't a beta, this is a demo. You guys have no time to change anything in 3 weeks. Now bring that down to 1 day. It's like, what? None of us can get the implant. Nobody could get the implant because there was no way to either get enough ISO in time or to do the directive in 1 day. So
that's fair.
It came out on PCS, nobody used it, and it rolled out to live. And when it rolled out to live, there was a lot of, complaining about it, and I think some of the complaining was warranted, because it's like, do you really want to increase the DPS of a weapon and reward a player for doing well and then have no way to counter it for the player that's not? So like, if we were playing in a scrim, it's like, I kill you and it's like I can just murder the rest of your team 8% faster, and the only thing that they have that they can rely on is that you hopefully did enough damage to bring me lower in HP. But if I got like the drop on you guys, it's like I take you out and then now I can kill everybody else 8% faster.
It did seem like it got some harsh up front, which is fine. That's normal. It got some harsh up front, and then people started using it. You'd be in the streams, or you'd be in TeamSpeak talking to Sunny, and then it's like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that OP. And it was nice to see like that curve kind of come, and we did kind of lighten up on things, and I did appreciate that. So yeah, it turns out it wasn't like this. It wasn't Zoe Max from like 2013 or whatever that came out for 6 months, where it just decimated the server, right?
Yeah.
But I would like to. I mean, this is controversial in itself, but I do like the dev response. Quick, precise, and not only did they talk about the change, it came, boom, right after, bro. Like, hotfix, here we are.
So on one side, I do agree. The other side, I disagree. That's why it's controversial. I mean, I 100%. What you're about to say, I agree with. So go ahead. My mindset about changes in a game is that they should be slow and progressive. They can be quick in the response, but the change in itself should be slow and progressive.
Oh yeah, it got nerfed out of the wazoo.
It's useless now, and we'll talk about this. We have a video up, and we also have the changes that they made. What was that?
Well, it's not our video, but
this is just a video from. This is the first time we'll ever like feature something that's not our faces in this.
Dude, we're growing.
We're getting better. Yay!
Oh my gosh.
So the game, when you add something into the game, it needs to be one of those, here is the new thing. I almost think of Overwatch, because Bridget, one of the characters they added into the game, basically broke the game, but they didn't.
League of Legends as well, right?
Oh yeah, League of Legends is a good one too. They're constantly making tweaks to the abilities and the cooldowns and stuff like that in order to get everything on an even playing field. Because if you think of Planetside, it's very similar to a game like League of Legends, where it's not what's the word? It's not just everybody using the same thing like a CS:GO, where it's like we're all using the same guns, we all have the same HP. Yeah. League is like,
first Beetlejuice that drops, right? That's a great example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and they make you have to make slow changes over time. So when you make such a drastic change in order to counter whatever your fear is in the game, you end up getting this sort of, now no one's gonna test it anymore because it's completely useless. And I guess we could.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, man. I really did. I was very shocked that it got that much of just a punch in the gut. It's like, hey, Firestorm, you just came out. It's like, hey, Firestorm, come here. It's like, what? It's like,
blasted.
It's like,
I'm useless now.
Miss Dawson, my tummy.
So I'm gonna switch it over to the Planetside like official post that they made. But what it says here is like balance changes. So Firestorm implant, while the effect is active, your recoil and cone of fire bloom suffers significantly. This implant will be added to the implant pack drop table during the next major game update. So after the directive's over, then they will make it so that you can roll the dice and try to get the luck in order to drop it. But if we look at the subtext here, we'll kind of skip what they say here in the beginning. They're just talking about based on feedback. It's just a little overpowered. But what it says here is, when the effect is active, horizontal recoil, cone of fire bloom on both aim down sights and hip fire are increased by 200%, and horizontal recoil tolerance is effectively uncapped. These changes should make the implant more weapon playstyle and situation specific and reduce the skill disparity it creates. We can start at these values and tune as necessary moving forward. So they say at the end there, they'll tune as necessary moving forward, but how are they gonna tune it now that no one's gonna use it?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you really need. You knew that let's say they are saying that the 8% is a little bit too strong, so if they just walk it back from there, which is what they should have done. And then if they I'm just gonna randomly throw this number out. Is that 8%? Okay, we're gonna walk it back to 7%. Oh, okay, that's still a little too much. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? Like you said, gradually, which makes sense. Instead, they're like, could you imagine me being 200% taller?
This essentially makes you 200% shorter. Like it's a nerf.
Dude, have you seen Indian in the Cupboard?
No, I don't know what that is. Dude, I told you don't tell me movie references, bro. I don't know anything.
It's an Indian that's like this big in the cupboard. Okay, Native American. I don't know if I can say that in 2020.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's the name of the
movie.
movie.
Our apologies, guys.
Anchors. If you're out there, cut that one.
Cut that one out.
It's the name of the movie though. But it's just like, never mind. It's just a little.
Yeah,
you haven't seen it.
And to kind of talk a little bit better.
My whole point is 200%.
It's a lot. It's insane. It's insane. And we actually have a video from Reddit that somebody made. I'll just put it on the screen. It's only 10 seconds long. But
whoever made the video.
Yeah, whoever made the video, we'll give them a little shout out. But you can see here that this is what the gun looks like normally, but then all of a sudden this is what happens when you have Firestorm. The gun just goes everywhere. It's insane. I'll play it one more time for this, and you obviously can't see it, but the gun,
there's a couple slow learners out there for sure that need to see it.
Once he gets the kill, the bullets start flying everywhere. The gun is impossible to use. It's I don't know. And shout out to the user on Reddit. His name is Roulite. Feel free to give this a vote. My Reddit just doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. But it's one of those, like, they nerfed it to the point that it isn't usable in almost any situation, unless if the person is like right in front of you and all of the other people are right in front of you. What happens is if I get a kill, I don't get the choice to turn it on or off, for one. So if I get a kill at range, I'm effectively useless for the next 3 to 5 seconds, depending if it was a headshot
could you imagine
kill.
shooting that at range?
It's impossible. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, now, since I don't have the choice to activate it or not, like, am I supposed to just be like, I have Firestorm, that guy's a little too far away and he's shooting at me, so I'm gonna run away instead of fighting him, because he also has 2 other people with him. So you have to, like, change your whole fight selection criteria just because the implant sucks. Yeah, and it's for this minuscule gain now of 8%. So it's like, I'm just not going to use it. Why would I ever want to? And Sunday had a whole stream earlier where he was showing everybody like what was happening, and he played for basically 2 hours. And you guys should check out the VOD. It's Slendy Planetside, and he just, like, he's a good player, but he was just getting absolutely demolished by his own weapon, because he was getting a slight increase to fire rate, but this massive increase to his gun just flying into the sky. And it's not just up, the horizontal tolerance, that's the biggest deal about it, is now every gun has an amount of tolerance to it, where when it gets to the maximum amount of recoil possible, the gun will only shake a certain amount. It won't go past that. But since they now have increased that by 200% and then gotten rid of the tolerance, your gun can it's uncontrollable. It'll just go left, right. The MSWR and the anchor, whenever you use them, the recoil is always up and to the left, so you can compensate for that. But now imagine your anchor just starts going to the right now too. So it's like, I can't compensate for this because the implant ruins it.
Yeah, it's like literally dropping an anchor off the anchor to the right. That's insane.
It's useless now.
Yeah, no, it is useless. It's
it's tragic. It's tragic.
Okay, small dev team. Well, I don't know. Whatever. I'm trying to help them out here. Maybe they're so busy. They're just like nerfing to the ground, make it useless right now. We'll come back and we'll think about it later. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, just be like, hey, we're gonna nerf this into the ground. I know you guys spent some time on this. Sorry, we rushed it out. It is what it is. We will revisit this later. We're too busy with other things. We'll see ya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hey,
and
we'll see ya.
Well, it is what it is. Like, we'll just have to figure out how to fix it later. And I agree with that. I think that's a good thing. But then you kind of fall into the conflicting priorities thing, where I remember, like, way back, it was like Smedley had the roadmap or whatever, and it was like, oh, we're gonna do this, this, and this. And I'm pretty sure they probably have their own, like, internal roadmap now. We're gonna try and do these things over the period of time.
Yeah.
Do we delay the roadmap to fix this implant, or do we just nerf it, make it useless, act like it never happened, and keep moving forward? It's one of those business decisions.
It quick enough to where it's like, Not too many people are too invested. Like, okay, Sunny wasted a couple days to get it on a couple
I did
characters.
too. I did too.
Well, you as well. But like, as a decent to good player, like that's not going to affect you at the end of the day. You might be a little annoyed, but it's not like you spent like a month doing it. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's good. Like, but I think they could have done it in a better way. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's almost like it's a mute point. The implant's just mute now. It's like, who cares if it's there? We'll see if it gets changed later. That's fine.
Yeah, hopefully it does have some sort of thing, or maybe just change what it does in general. Don't make it fire rate. Do something else. I know they can't do reload speed apparently. Somebody told me that it just breaks the game whenever they do reload speed. But having it be you got something? You good?
No, that's a very. This is what you just said there. I'm curious of like how many things they test and just breaks the game. It's like that'd be really cool to add, but we can't. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, apparently they must have so many great ideas, but then when they try to implement it, it's like, ooh, we've tried 15 different variations of this implementation, and it always breaks something.
Like in Egypt, they're all pulling out this like Planetside 2 saver, bro. We got it, bring it out, and it's like. Oh, we broke the game. Like, they just gotta walk it back, man.
It's almost like the Excalibur pulling it out the rock.
Oh my!
And every time they pull it out, it's just the handle and the sword's still in there. They're like, bro, back to the drawing board, dude. And they just put it back on and they figure out how to do it again. It's like, it's just tragic.
That's actually that was pretty good, bro.
Hey,
I'm proud of you. I don't
content.
Yeah, that was
off the dome. That was off the dome. We have no notes, bro. This is all off the dome. Yeah, we're so out of it right now.
Notes are where we been, what you up to. I've been grinding for the implant.
Shoctor got it. Talk. Esamir sneak peek. So we can say. You have anything else you want to talk about for this one?
No, I think we hit the implant pretty good.
Yeah, well, the implant's broken. The summer directive is flawed. There's no like I always think about the most that I played a game over the summer was like I think it was Overwatch. The past 2 years, like over the summers, I would just play Overwatch, and both of their summer things were like, one was the Summer Olympics, and everybody was like, oh man, why are you doing that, bro?
Every time I look, like when I sit back here, it looks great, but then I come forward, it's just like all scuffed, man. I'm just gonna sit back. Sorry.
Yeah, bro, just chill. We're chilling at this point. We're so out of it right now, honestly. But the summer event for Overwatch came with summer skins for all of the characters, summer weapon variations, summer titles, summer emblems, summer icons, summer things that like your character would say, like the like when I win, what my character says and stuff. So many summer things. Like, here are the cosmetics, buy the loot boxes, and you can also earn the loot boxes by playing the game. It's like it's both of that mixture of like, if you want to buy, but you don't have to. Now we look at Planetsides. We got the camo that I don't really plan on using because I have black camo like on all my characters now. I'm just gonna use black camo.
But Planetside has always been like this, though. You know what I mean? It's hard to compare. It's not like
there has to be something to. For us, we're already there. We have the heavy assault armors. We have the black camos. We have all the stuff like the pinnacle. We have the MLG emblem. We have the pinnacle of the old school stuff, and we're kind of hard headed almost with our old school stuff, where it's like, this new thing's cool, but it's not as cool as the old thing. But for a new player, it's like, give them something to grind for that's still available. And outside of the old camos like white, black, and brilliant, and then the directive armors, there's the summer directive really doesn't give you anything other than the camo and the implant. And now the implant's useless and the camo's ugly. It's like, all I get is the surfer title. Go ahead.
First off, yes, I agree with that. You bring up a good point. I'm going to lose my train of thought, so I might not even hit all three. Loyal Heart's camo on TR is the best camo, I think, in the game. I think it's on the gun, on the character. It looks fantastic to me. I would love that same color wheel to be applied to NC and VS. That same, like, very vibrant, almost like your hair, very vibrant look. Like, it's so good. Like, I wish it would be on the other ones. I think it would sell so well. And I think I forgot my other 2 points. Oh yeah, you were talking about skins, for characters, and some of the characters probably, they have scales, so it's not even skin, right? Because if it's like a lizard person, it could be a scale instead of a skin. I thought, you should probably have talked about that too, but that's fine. And then the third one I don't remember, so.
Nice. It's just there's not enough to incentivize the directive now.
Oh, okay, that's the third thing. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. If you have the third thing, go.
I agree with you. But I think what happens is, right, we have development for PSA. All this time is ushered into it. and then it flops. Like, it's just wasted time that, could have been put into camos or implants or like more things, right? We could just have, more and more like summer directive, and it's like, okay, we have this next one, or you could just do more in the summer directive. So I agree with you. But then you have like things like construction, and like you have like all these like subsystems that aren't really fleshed out all the way yet. We're stuck in the phase 1, which has been a meme for years now, and they just don't work. And like, you kind of like, you divided too much, and like, so everything feels like you're just getting tiny little like tidbits here and there. And I agree with you, but I think part of the issue is so many things have failed, or there's too many things now, too many systems, that there's just not enough time to like make these smaller pieces of content, which is good for the game, and you can make money off of them, right? Like, if you let's say the Firestorm implant comes out, after the directive update, you can buy it. Let's say you can purchase it, right? Or you can grind for it, by buying the packs. Which, by the way, people buying 18,000, 50,000 certs and not getting, but like one exceptional is insane to me. But you can make like I think that's good for the game, and it creates revenue. So like I'm surprised there's not more of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, man. That was crazy. I think my brain just.
Man, I saw the cogs were turning, bro. A little bit of smoke came out too.
I said, they're like stuck. The gears are just like, and then nothing's moving.
Yeah, you're getting out the vacation. I've noticed. Like that first stream you came back was a little bit rusty, but now it's been getting better. I've noticed. But yeah, I think there just has to be something to incentivize like a new player to want to come back and play again the next day, because Planetside's a grindy game. At the end of the day, it's an MMO. It's one of those, you have objectives. You're either grinding to be the #1 kills with a gun, you're grinding for a directive or an armor, a cosmetic. It's one of those games. I mean, I'm doing it in Ghost of Tsushima too. It's like I'm grinding out to get these like rare armors that they have in the game that are from these like Japanese mystic tales, and it's cool. It's fun. Like, I'm doing. I was playing last night, and I kept saying like, all right, I'm gonna do this one more, because I had to liberate these 6 towns, and they all had keys. They were family keys, and I had to get all 6 of them to open this chest. And I had to open this chest, and when I'd open the chest, it would have this brand new armor. And I did like 3 of them.
Dope, dude. He was in that snow globe armor with the feather holster.
Oh yeah, like, it's so cool. All of that stuff. All that stuff was like me doing something in order to get it. That sword was the same thing. The camo, I got like this black camo. I just ran across this guy, and he's like, I make the best black camos on the island. I was like, all right, bro, bet, let me check it out. Like, and I it's one of those, like, either run into it or I grind it out and I get it. And you also feel like you're getting better at the game, and that's something that we play Planetside for as well. It's a gameplay loop of me doing something, getting rewarded for doing it, both extrinsically of me getting something and intrinsically of like me feeling like I'm getting better.
MMO, right? That's what Planetside is.
Exactly.
I'm listening, but I don't want to lose my train of thought here.
Go ahead.
I do think they lose sight of like what it is. Like, dude, okay, we've seen some special things. Like, I got the gold anchor, right? Way back in the day, 400 years ago, Gilly got the. Well, he didn't actually get it, but they did create it because he hit 100,000 kills with the SVA, right? Or Mentis had 1 million kills, and there's a tree on Indar somewhere. We found it the other day. Travis helped me, and his, there's a gun. There's like a little momentum to him. Whatever, I don't know if that's the right word. There's a little bit of that like MMO feel to it with these like very small things, but there's so few and far things. It'd be awesome to like. I don't think we give everyone the opportunity to get it right. If you want to grind hard and get these things, like, if you do like mythic raids on WoW or something, you can get like the best armor set or whatever. You could do that and like do like armor sets that don't like give you buffs or anything, but are really cool. It's like, wow, that player like really had to like go above and beyond to get that. And you can have lower tier stuff too, but I think that'd be cool for an MMO. For that MMO feel, like make you grind for cooler looking helmets and armor, like make some really like cool like armor sets and helmet sets that are very unique and very special. I think that'd be great. Or guns, or gun camos, or like a variance of like the anchor, like, oh, my anchor looks like this, right? And then, but you could take it the other side, right? And do like a ladder experience. But I think the groundwork for that would be huge, because what is the ladder experience, right? Mm-hmm. On StarCraft 2, it's very straightforward because the game is very straightforward. But they're kind of doing that with Outfit Wars, but it's clunky, super clunky. And it's like, okay, well, do we do the 6v6 aspect? Do we do NC versus TR, but we promote the game as NC VTR versus VS? So like, I think the latter thing's a little bit of a conflict. So I think if we go the other route and we do these like milestones, or like, hey, if you want this armor, you got to do this, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, it should be related to what you're doing. So if I want infantry armor for heavy assault, it should be related to the heavy assault.
Agreed. Yeah, and that
And
kind of
don't make it like 2,000 AV grenade kills, because like those things are just so like
Just
clunky
grindy.
sometimes. I'm okay with grinding like kills.
Oh,
think
I guess grindy. Yeah, you're right. It's the wrong word here. I think
like-
it's definitely. Or go ahead.
It's very hard, and it's very like
It's not rewarding.
well, it's like get like 10,000 max kills with a decimator. It's like, okay, well, we'll never do that, Like, don't make it. That's what I'm saying. Don't make it too hard. Like, you can get 10,000 kills with an LMG or combined LMG, and okay, now you can unlock this. I don't know. I think that would give, longer term goals, and like I set those goals for myself, and I got lucky and got the gold anchor right. But at one point when we hit 200,000 kills, we didn't get it. I was like, okay, we're never gonna get it. So I was like, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm just gonna make my own goal, right, and get nothing for it.
Yeah.
But just imagine if there were like more of these that are a little bit more attainable. And then you could do something grand for players like the gold anchor, like for myself. But you could do more of that. And I think it is exciting to do that, because like getting directive points is cool, but like they're just directive points. Are you like, and there are like rewards there, but I think you can take that so much further.
Yeah, it's.
Damn, I went down that rabbit hole, bro.
No, and it's cool. No, you're still there. I'm jumping down with you, actually.
Yeah,
stay down there. I'm repelling. Have you seen it's almost from Modern Warfare 2, and they have to like pull you out of the gulag, and you're like all like latching on. They're like, get me out of there, zoom. There has to be. It's a mixture of give me something grindy, but something rewarding. I want to feel like I got better as a player, in addition to receiving the item that you're giving me, to show that I'm better as a player. Like, I don't become better as a heavy assault for getting heavy weapon kill assists. Like, that's not like I get better by like araxing guns, and like the way they do with the gun meta, I guess, where I'm araxing these weapons in order to get this new weapon. It's forcing me to test out new guns, play new playstyles, enjoy it, but keep it within the margin of this is how most people would play as a heavy assault.
So yeah, I'll take it a step further. I love that. And if I cut you off, I'm sorry, let me know.
Go ahead.
But like, if I'm playing the engineer, but let's say I'm using the archer, okay? I'm grinding the archer. I should be getting something special for the archer, right?
Yeah.
If I don't want a special repair tool gun, unless I'm doing a lot of repairing. Okay? That's what I want to see, very specific designations. And there's a lot of things in the game, so like that is a lot of work. I get that. But my thing is, like, if I play engineer and I want a cool looking archer or weapon that I'm using, I should be able to have that choice, not just like, well, I play engineer and all engineers repair. It's like, no, you don't. Like there's infantry players that play engineer, and I think that would be it's a good way to go.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's one of those it's not essential. Exactly. It should be one of those, not a jack of all trades sort of thing, where it's like, oh, well, the heavy assault has the ability to shoot at aircraft due to the fact that they have a rocket launcher, so go get 1,200 air deterrence ticks. It's like, so you want me to lock on to a Reaver or a Scythe or a Mosquito or a Galaxy 1,200 times to get this armor? How does that make me feel like I became a better player? I just held left click, went beep, 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 and then it hit it, and then sometimes it doesn't, and it's like I have to lock on even more than 1,200 times because the rockets don't hit it sometimes. They have flares or they fly around a mountain. So it's not like with, like, I understand, like, use the faction specific weapon, like use the jackhammer or the lasher or the MCG, and it's like get kills with that, because it's forcing you to play a new playstyle that's within the confines of what the playstyle is. The heavy assault is supposed to be a heavy trooper that pushes in and kills things and is like the thing that helps push the line forward for the rest of the team that's playing support. But it's like, instead of me doing that, now I'm chilling behind everyone, locking on to a liberator. It's like it doesn't correlate 100%. And this is just a specific example.
It's too big of a net.
Yeah, exactly.
Very general. It's like, let's get down to the dirty.
Look at what players do, and then reward the players that aren't that good at the game yet to play like the players that are good at the game, in order to just bring that skill level up. And again, once players feel like they're getting better at a game, that's what keeps them playing, as well as the things that you're giving them, like armors and guns and stuff like that. Because there's only so many like things that you can give someone until it's like,
right,
all right, but I don't feel like I'm getting any better. So.
Could you imagine if I got like a gold Carnage AR instead of the Anchor, but I grinded out the Anchor kills.
That'd be kind of wild.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it'd be so useless. Like I'm playing off of what you're saying. They're like, oh, go get these 1200 decimator shots or lock-ons or whatever. It's like that's not what I'm trying to do, bro. I'm trying to unlock a gold Anchor.
Yeah.
Because I love the Anchor. That's what I'm saying. Make the road a little bit more narrow and like let us choose. And I get, like I'm saying, like to create specific cool things for each weapon is a lot. Which is, I think armor might be a better way of going about it, or helmets, or hire, Doku or whatever to make some very unique things. I don't know. I'm just shooting some shit out there. I think it's an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you brought up, actually.
Yeah. So it's really at the end of the day, like just rewarding somebody for doing well, not only in the way of here is the cookie, but look at what you did, bud. You got so much better trying to get this cookie. So not only are you getting this cookie, but while you eat this cookie, remember how fucking amazing you became when you started doing that. And it's like, that's one of those, you're right. And now I'm going to go play something else and get better at that too, because I'm going to get better as a player and feel like I'm getting better, but also I'm going to get something that's like, it's the carrot at the end of the stick. I'm going to eat this and it's going to be delicious. But not only is the final goal the thing that made me feel good, but reflecting on the journey itself is also the thing that makes me feel even better. It's an intrinsic reward. You're rewarding yourself because you're like, you know what? I did do well. It's like when you do good in a scrim and you go plus 80, you're like, you know what? I am getting better. I was getting negative 20 before, and now I'm positive. It's like, right. It's really good. And
the reward matches I think also needs to match the skill or whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's almost like what goes in must come out. It's like the investment, what you invest in should also match what you're getting when it comes out. And that's probably the biggest thing, even if you think about it financially. It's like, I'm not going to invest my time and money into something that's going to give me nothing. And essentially doing this directive is that the equivalent of that in the video game. You invest hours of time and effort, and then you come back and you get a directive that doesn't give you any directive score. You get an implant that is now completely useless. You get a title that's cool, but is it really worth it? And you get a camo that you're probably never going to use. So it's like, so it's yikes.
It's a mix of we need more meaningful rewards, and
the journey needs to be better, and the carrot at the end of the stick needs to also be better. I think. There
you go.
Yeah.
Way to tie that together. You know, it's funny. Speaking of cookies, my most recent follower, his name is You Give Back Cookies. Thought that was interesting.
Dang. Hey, thanks for the follow, bro.
I mean, that was like 7 hours ago.
Hey, bro, you should still thank him, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you.
But what we have next is the Esamir sneak peek, and it's kind of a weird tweet, and I'm gonna be able to display this on the screen too, bro. I'm popping off right now with my production skills.
Look at that. Yeah, production's on point tonight.
But this tweet from the official Planetside 2, and by the way, I've been leaving this link for questions. If you still have any questions that you want to kind of build off of from what we were talking about, I'll put the link in chat one more time. But if you want to ask us a little bit more about the directives or how to better incentivize players, feel free to hop in there. You can also leave us a what would you like to see us talk about next as well for future episodes. But that we're going to kind of tie up what we were talking about the summer directive, implants, and then how to just make directives better, and go into this next thing with the Esamir update that is allegedly coming soon. So I'm going to flip this over to the window capture screen so we can take a look at the tweet. But this tweet says, something's brewing in the Rogue Planet development pit. And these pics are via DBG Bishop, who is one of the 3D artists at Daybreak Games, currently working on Planetside Arena. He's clearly not updated. He says he's currently working on Planetside Arena in his bio, bro. That's a tragic one. And Alan Lapidus, he's environmental lead and principal artist at Rogue Planet Games. He's worked on Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft, Free Realms, Clone Wars, Adventures, Planetside 2, H1Z1, and Planetside Arena. Again, another yikes. But if I make these pictures bigger, we have a pickaxe. I don't know what to say, dude. This is so weird. We have a pickaxe, and we'll just go to the next picture as well, and then you can look at it on the in the stream, or you can open the tweet if you want on your side. I know you can't see it.
We'll peek at it.
So we have pickaxe model. I'm assuming that'll be a knife replacement slot, and then we have this massive, almost looks like satellite solar thing.
Dude, I haven't seen this one yet.
this is like the second, and they have a galaxy on the side to scale with, and it's like on the side to show like the scale of this massive thing that they plan on adding. I'm not sure what, because if you think about it, we already have orbital strikes, we already have citadel shields, so what is this thing gonna do?
Okay, let's go to the small thing first. Let's do the ice pick.
Go. Yeah, I'll bring it back to the ice pick. Let's talk about that.
I haven't seen it. I don't even know what to think.
It's an ice pick. It reminds me almost of like the Atlanta Falcons logo. The top is very like edgy, and it looks like the Atlanta Falcons like logo. I don't even know how to explain it. And I'm assuming it's gonna replace your knife slot. It says nanite systems on it. Has like one of the rubber handles. It reminds me of the pickaxe that we used to use in Escape from Tarkov.
Right, when you climb mountains, right?
Yeah. So.
The Red Rebel.
Yeah, the Red Rebel from Tarkov.
No, your basic kind of low IQ kind of, just very like, big brain thought is gonna think, okay, this is a melee weapon, right? Yeah, that's thanks. We didn't think of that. But me, big brained, amazing, talented, level of thought, bro. How many times have I said we need climbing boots? Okay. We need a way to get up this tiny hill, this tiny grade of a hill in Planetside that for some reason we can't climb, right? And I keep trying to hop up sideways to get up it, and I keep, boom. I thought the boots was the idea. It's an axe, bro. Now we can climb. We can climb.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to make it so that the wall climbs that the player base has found over the course of years, whether it's like jumping up the balcony on a triple or getting to the roof of a bio by just spamming space, maybe they're trying to make it so it's like now those walls and other walls can be climbed with this, but I hope that's not the case.
I see you cringing over there, and that after thinking about it, it seems like a really stupid idea.
Yeah, if you could get wherever you want, bro, it's like that's already scary. Like the fact that
let's not dwell on me being stupid. That's
no, that's not stupidity. That's just one of those, like, it's a great idea if it was a 6v6 game, but it being 1000 v 1000 v 1000, it's like you give everyone that ability. That's kind of scared. But
right, just a melee weapon. You're right.
Yeah, and hopefully it has something about it that like kind of makes it worth using, because right now I don't see me using this because of the Amaterasu. The Amaterasu knife it's both a knife and a ranged weapon. Yeah, I think at least
scares me.
The Amaterasu, or I think it's the it's either the Amaterasu or like the Amaterasu. I don't know.
You've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, tell us.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Yeah, I'm basically fluent at this point, bro. But there's not really much to talk about, I guess. Here, it's just.
Dude, go back to this other thing. I did not even know.
The other thing is wild.
Why is it not on Reddit? Is that on Reddit?
I think it might have been on Reddit, but I don't really check Reddit anymore. My Reddit account is like I can't log in because I never linked an email to it and I forgot the password.
Dude, like, I mean, if this doesn't kill frames, which I'm hoping it doesn't, because it definitely looks like a new piece of whatever. But this is the thing about teasers, right? Is like they make you overthink everything, and then it's like a distraction almost, right? It's like this tiny little thing sometimes. But this could be different. Yeah. It looks like a big solar array, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it does look like one of those solar things that people put on their houses till they get energy. But my worry is they added, so in the not the last update but the update before, I guess technically now, they added the I just want to call it a trophy system because I don't know what to call it. It's the thing that it just brings down the amount of damage like a grenade would do to you. They removed Spitfires and they put that in, and the performance impact was huge. And that was just a tiny little thing that infantry can put down. Now you're giving everybody the ability to drive an ant and put this massive thing up somewhere.
It's a radar
scared.
blocker. It's yeah, bro. The radar block. You look at your mini map, you see nothing.
Yeah, so it's kind of wild, and I'm gonna look for the other tweet. There's one more. I think it was tweeted by Andy Seitz.
Oh, how do I not know this? What am I doing? I'm on up to speed, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. The Planetside Twitter kind of popping. When it comes down to it, there's a lot of stuff that they're tweeting about. There's one more thing. I found the other tweet actually that it explains it a little bit more. It's look what arrived on the last Lodestar. It still has that new NS Tech smell just in time for the next update. This was tweeted on July 13th. I don't know, and this is actually a higher res image, luckily, so we can take a better look at it, but I don't know what this is. They've yet to explain what it is.
How'd that come in on the Lodestar? I thought the Lodestar was like a galaxy without the whatever.
I have no idea.
Sorry,
it's
I
huge.
didn't play Planetside 1.
And I'm looking for the last tweet that he posted as well. It was about like that's something about that new Esamir smell or something like that. Here we
What's
go.
What's that Lodestar picture?
I have no. There was just somebody posting, I think, something from
Disgusting.
old Planetside 1. But this is so somebody who just said this is Alan Lapidus. I think this is still the environmental guy. Yeah, the environmental lead.
Hey, shout out Alan. What's good, boy?
Yeah, shout out Alan. He says just had a team show and tell for next update. You guys are gonna love what's coming next to Planetside 2, and if not, come to Connery and fight me for the glory of Vanu. Somebody said,
"Gosh, dude, where's Higby at, bro? What happened to like everyone's Vanu now? Come on, dude, it's disgusting."
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
B-Way, we're Vanu now because it's low pop. Come on, man.
But
Stay true.
Somebody responds saying, "Is it related to the Esamir Easter eggs by any chance?" And the response is, "Not sure, but the days are colder and more overcast. The sun seems dimmer here, not so blinding as it once was. There's frost buildup on things that should be frost resistant. Even the nighttime sky seems different, sharper, like there's a static in the air." And then he has an image of Esamir. So there might be an update. Lore, I love that. Somebody just said in chat, lore. It's so there might be an Esamir update coming up, but I don't know. I have no idea. It could.
Dude, could it be the weather system people are looking for? We're gonna have like, and then the snow's gonna be blanketing everything. Because that's what the sun is less powerful, right? Sharp or whatever. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's very interesting. This is kind of cool. You know,
It builds hype. It gives you that, and like again, like you look at the Twitter comments. Like I think Planetside Twitter is almost like a completely different atmosphere from Planetside Reddit, and then our like Planetside infantry group of like Discords and stuff like that. But everyone's like super hype about it. There's a bunch of comments. We're not a cult, but we're like our own little sub community. So
we just don't even know what's going on the outside.
We have no idea, bro. Honestly, zero clue. But it is one of those like, I guess, you know, builds up hype, gets people like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually kind of cool.
I wasn't gonna play, but now they're adding in pickaxe. There's this big thing coming from the Lodestar, and Esamir's getting colder. Like, what's happening, bro? Like, I think this is cool. This is cool.
Anytime they say you're gonna love it, like, regardless of all the stuff I've hated that they've added to the game and the disagreements that I have with it, I always get excited. I just assume that I'm gonna love it, and I get excited, bro. And that's me being honest. So hopefully this is cool, regardless of what it is.
And as much as people will like just dog on the what's it called, the lore, and it's like, oh, look at these tryhards caring about the game. It's like, it is kind of infectious to see somebody excited about something, and then you kind of get excited about it too. So seeing the devs still having passion about a game that's 7-8 years old now, it's like, it feels good, man.
That's
feels
a great
good.
point. That is a good point. I mean, I don't even think they watch this because we're tiny and new.
Soon.
But
Soon. Hey, Rel was in your chat earlier, bro.
That's true. But I mean, man, that's any game, maybe, I don't know, but like, obviously, since we commit our time to Planetside, we see it. But man, the devs get absolutely bullied, man. It's hard out there. So
Rel's in your chat right now, bro. I'm scared. All right, thanks for checking out.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good seeing everybody. No, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, even if I am an infantry elitist, I still love the game. I still play it. I enjoy it. So thank you for keeping it around. And yeah, hopefully it's something that we enjoy and it's cool. So
yeah, seeing the excitement from the devs only makes me excited because I compare it to my job. It's like this is their job, and me, I'm grinding out these contracts and I'm just like doing all this stuff that I don't like. If I had this sort of excitement about it, then that's a good sign that whatever I'm about to do is pretty good. And if there's lore and they're like dogging on the fact that's like, bro, can you believe the lore? Look at these nerds. It's like, nah, bro, this is actually pretty cool. If the devs are excited about this and they're adding like this sense of mystery and I don't even know, like this sort of grayness about like what's gonna come next and all this concept art, and it shows that excitement. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be excited too, because even if it doesn't apply to me and my playstyle, it's still showing that the game is taking steps to improve and become bigger and get just
Right.
attract more people, and then maybe one of the updates will then impact my play style and give me something new
Very
to do
true.
as well.
Very true.
So,
Great point.
and it's baby steps at the end of the day, but it's good to see that excitement because then it brews within the community as well. So
Dude, it's honestly something that I talked about a long time ago. Is like we need more transparency, we need more communication, we need more hype, and like that comes from the dev team. Like, yeah, okay, sure. If Shroud played the game and we had like all these viewers, that like, yeah, we could piggyback off that. But fact of the matter is we don't have like that grand presence, and it's like so it is on the devs essentially to create that. Like us smaller content creators out here, are trying, but it's nice to see that change. And it is exciting, man. So great point.
Definitely. So that's all we had for the Esamir part. And then obviously I'll leave the link again. I've been kind of spamming it, but feel free to leave a question if you have anything you want to ask us about the Esamir part, or if you want to talk to us more about the summer directive and the implant the implant nerf, that happened recently. Feel free to leave us a question there. We will answer them at the end. We have one more topic that we're going to talk about.
You didn't roasted. I'm tiny, bro. You out of your mind, bro.
bro.
How you think I lift that gold anchor, bro?
Dang. Bro, why'd you gotta do that, bro? So our last what's the word? Our last topic is the PIL Invitational, the Planetside Infantry League Invitational, occurred not last weekend but the weekend before, while Aeflic was on vacation.
Oh, bro, it pained me. It pained me.
Yeah, that must have been rough, bro. But it was a really good tournament. It was a really good. I would call it a turnout, I guess, but it's just people watching online. But a really good turnout.
Dude. I saw that. I was super
so
200
many
plus.
viewers. Yeah, and seeing that for like community-driven content and it not being either a dev push thing where it's like, the devs say we have a monthly like recap and we're going to talk about what's coming up, like that, it gets hyped up among everybody. But or I guess you could also be like with Lyric when he played, or you have like Winter Gaming playing, like he gets a good amount of viewers too. But just seeing the infantry side of Planetside like rack up that amount of viewers and not be like some sort of celebrity or dev driven thing was it gave me like a lot of hope of like, PIL 2 is gonna have a lot of stuff coming up as well, and hopefully like they kind of keep that consistent. You good, bro?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the teams, and there's some try hard teams out there, man. This is just the invitational too. Shout out for the teams for putting some work in, especially the newer teams that really needed it. Like B-Way did. I mean, shout out to them for putting that the time in, man, and really getting better. And then obviously shout out to Nipsel, Cross John, the admin team for putting up with everybody and putting something that was great, man. It was a great show, and like you said, great viewership, which was surprising but also awesome. Like I was thinking like 100 something, and then like when it broke 200, it was like, okay, nice, man. We've really stepped it up. And then what was the other? Oh, shout out to the casters, man. Like I haven't watched a lot of the casting because usually like I'm in a scrim or I have limited time with Planetside, right? Because I have a family. But I've been watching some Twitch clips, and it's just like the casting team has really come a far way. Gels is great, but then like you, Leroy, I mean, Krako's doing it. I might do it. I think Duro said he might be doing it. I don't know if he's done it. Sane, I think there's just like there's some quality casting going on, and those things all need to kind of come together to create a good tournament that's fun for viewers, fun to play in. If there's a dispute, like you have a team there, you have like things in place, and it feels very, very nice. So shout out to everyone in PIL Invitational. Hopefully the actual tournament goes well and we're not all completely burnt out. So
yeah, and I mean there's a good amount of time before. Oh gosh, what is that? I just had something start playing in the background. My apologies. Hopefully the I do agree that burnout doesn't stay consistent, but I don't think it will. It's always been...
There's a big gap, too.
Yeah, there's a good amount of time. PIL 2 doesn't start till September, so that gives like a good like week or two for teams to kind of take a break, play other games, and then start to bring up that regiment again of doing practices, maybe subbing out people, maybe making new teams, trades here and there. I know there's been rumblings of like certain teams doing certain stuff, so it's like there's already that stuff brewing again. Yeah, it's like, and it's like there's all of that, like that, I wouldn't even call it drama, but all that stuff that's kind of brewing underneath it's like
which is great, bro. I love it. As
it's
long
like
as it's
it's
not
starting to
too
build
harsh.
up, and you're like, what's going on over there? Like, let's see what happens, and it starts to build up the hype again, where it's like, did you hear Team B did this and Team X did that, and it's like it starts to build up the hype.
B-way beatbacks. Okay,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so I think some stuff that I do kind of want to talk about. First is, did you watch much of the tournament, or did you watch anything back? Did you look at the stats?
I thought I owed it to myself and everyone I was around to kind of really just separate from. It's been a year and a half plus, actually, since we were on vacation. So I was like, you know what?
You just
I'm not
DC'd?
gonna.
I understand. Then I guess I can't really ask you if there were any players that stood out to you. I will say
Dudas Flutus.
I was gonna say Dudas is my player of the
That's
tournament.
the only thing. That's the one thing that I knew enough about. Bro, I mean, went from toxic / weird YouTube post to, it's like the cross John. I'll talk about it again. It's like the cross John change, man. And I don't know enough because I don't really speak to Dudas that much, but I'm assuming he's not as bad to play with, and he got better at the game.
Yeah,
I mean, dude,
he's my MVP,
bro. On the
bro.
roof, bro. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, what is going on? And I
He
said
had
it before, man.
he averaged, I think, a 2 KD in a 6v6 environment.
That's insane.
Playing light assault. I was like, this guy is insane.
B-way on his back.
Yeah, and then in the finals he wasn't able to play. I think it was due to some sort of personal reason. So he wasn't able to assist his team, and that ended up being his team losing to Be Hot. But yeah, I'd argue he was the MVP of the tournament. I'd say
it's an argument, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say other players that really impressed me. Richard in the finals. Richard was taken. Dude,
He's such a nice guy.
I'm talking about his
mean that.
play,
I
dude.
know, I'm just-
Richard was back. That was prime Richard. I was
Watch the VODs.
I was making jokes. I was like saying logged into Richard's account and was playing for Richard. But Richard in the finals was really, really good. And just shout out to all the team captains. Team captains did a lot of work, whether it was setting up the scrims before and being chill and letting like Gelos and I cast them to get our own practice in before the tournament. Shout out to Gelos. Shout out to, I don't want to shout out myself, but shout out myself and Monkey as well.
I'll shout out for you.
No,
Shout out,
me,
Shoctor.
because me, Gelos, Monkey, and Billy, we were only supposed to cast one match each, and then Gelos was supposed to do the final with Addy, but CrossJohn had some internet issues, and funny story, so the B-Way Backs match was about to happen, and Batty Fastard was supposed to cast it, but then he had something come up, so then CrossJohn was going to cast it, and he was going to cast it with Monkey. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go take a shower. I haven't eaten all day because I was casting for so long and also watching all the matches.
You gotta feel your bones.
Yeah, so I go to get food, and then I go to take a shower, and I'm like, I'm stripping naked, bro. The water's on. I plug in my phone to my speaker because I always take a shower listening to music, and I hear like Discord messages popping up. I'm like, what's going on? And it's CrossJohn saying, my internet sucks right now. I can't cast it. Can you cast it? And I'm like, bro, I'm naked. I throw the clothes back on. I still haven't eaten, and I just start up the stream again and I cast. And same thing with Gelos. I forget what happened with Gelos needing to cast again too, or maybe I'm confusing it. I think
He lost power or something, right?
Somebody wasn't able to do the first match. No, so Batty wasn't able to do the Bax B-Way match, and then CrossJohn wasn't able to do, I think it was the B-Hot versus DDRG match. So Gelos came in clutch with that one. I came in clutch with the other one, and the tournament went super smoothly. All the transitions between like the casters went really smoothly. The engagement between like the chat and the game was super fun too. Like all of the moments of like the moment where like Nikki throws the nade after Osprey, like I could open it right now, bro.
That's good. Yeah,
like
pull it up there, man.
Yeah, we got the production quality right now.
Let's get some clip action. Let's get a little bit of clip action going.
So I guess to give some background to this, I was casting this match. The battle between Osprey and Shelm, two really good bolters going back and forth with one another, ended up being a really hard battle for Osprey. And there was this moment where Osprey finally takes down Shelm, and unfortunately gets team killed, and I'll open that up right now. So here's the clip. I'll let you guys take a look at it. The cap 2:50 in the half, or excuse me, in the map.
Yep. Shelm holding the point again, like he does. He does get body shot by Osprey. Oh, he dies around the tree.
Mid jump, Osprey with the what a nade! The team kill from Nikki. That is going to hurt. I can't believe that just happened.
That sucks ass.
That is so horrible for the Ram side. Oh my god.
He had to stop the point cap there. That's
dude.
still taking down on the
It was
point.
crazy,
And
and now with
man.
70 seconds, that is oof.
Oh, you
if that is
hate
the
to
reason
see
why
it.
Ram loses the game here,
Which, are you talking
I
about
will
the,
be absolutely
pill
flabbergasted. Yeah, I think he's talking about the pill overlay. But
Shot by
this,
Osprey. Oh, he dies around.
Somebody else.
what do you mean?
Wait, the script.
Yeah, the script I think he's talking about. So you can see Osprey right here. I'll just kind of like get it real quick. So he takes down Shelm in this area right here.
like
He's
he
been having a
does.
lot of
He gets body
issues.
shot by Osprey.
And
Oh,
if we
he
look at the
dies.
stats, Osprey's 27 plus 2. Shelm's currently 37 plus 13. He's fragging. But he takes down Shelm, and then you can see the nade coming from the side from Nikki, who's his teammate, all the way back in spawn. Boom, kills him. What a nade! Like there were moments like that, and you look at the chat, like everyone's just like Kobe, Lamau, no, bro. Like all that interaction between everyone was so great. 70 seconds. Seeing this in the game,
Oh yeah.
was so beautiful. I loved this. This made me so happy to see, just because it was like it gave us like almost a sense of like legitimacy. Like we felt like an esport for like a couple minutes. It was super great. But yeah, I wonder, are there any other moments that I can think of off the top of my head? I had a funny intro, but that was more of just a meme.
Oh, link it to me, man. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll send that to you later. But yeah, it was really fun to see that. It was fun to just see everybody having a really good time while watching the game, and then also everybody having a lot of fun building up to it. A lot of scrims, a lot of practice. It gave a really good sense of like legitimacy to us as a game, and it was a good tournament. I think a lot of us are excited for PIL 2. PIL 2 is going to be a super fun time. And then there may be other tournaments. Maybe there'll be another Dirtle Dome or something like that. But PIL is definitely that main org. So like Aeflic said earlier, you know, shout out to the admins. The admins not only set up the tournament, they made the
Dude, that shit's not
JSON.
easy. No money being given. That's
None of it.
volunteer
All
work. And
volunteer.
the community of infantry elite players are annoying to work with. Different time zones, memes all the time. Like, and just people being annoying and like kids, you know, like, and they had to put up with that. So huge shout out. That shit is not easy to do, and I don't want to do it, so I don't. And the people that do it, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to the casters. Obviously, like the casting crew was really good. Everybody was super engaged in the game and was having fun and hyping it up, keeping the chat engaged. Shout out the players for wanting to practice and being down to do scrims and stuff like that. And then thanks to obviously the people who were watching, because like it could have literally just been that group, just the teams watching, and then the casters who weren't casting watching, and the admins who weren't reffing watching. That would have been like 30 viewers.
It made it feel like an esport. Like when chat is actually like large enough, you get that like you get like a normal Twitch feel.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, you know, and so that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, and I think there is actually one more clip. Moon sent it to us. This was another epic moment. This was him getting a quad kill against the
I actually haven't
UA
seen
team.
this, and I always forgot. People tell me to do stuff after stream, but after stream I give up on live.
Yeah, this one's really good too. I'll hit play and I'll mute ourselves here so you guys can listen. And that's a kill onto Skimp as well. Moons will trade out Canadian. And he's caught out in this corner at door 3. The pistol's out, and he gets him. The knife. That's triple kill for Moons. Can he get a 4th? He's thirsty. He wants it. Moons with the crazy quad. He's insane. That was what a moment. He went in, and the chat's kind of messed up here because since we were doing so many back-to-back streams, the way the clips were made, some of the chat wasn't captured, but everyone was just like, Pog, Moons is insane. Like, did you see that? And the fact that it's hard as a caster because we're also the observer cam, so being able to locate all the action and being almost ahead of the curve of like, because we can't see everybody on our mini maps either because we don't have that available to us, so we almost have to assume what's going to happen. The fact that I was able to catch all of that was beautiful.
Gold.
Yeah, because I could have been
Dude,
on the
that
roof,
spot-
or I could have
that
been somewhere
spot
else. Oof.
Is so special to me. Like I'm sad I missed it, right? But the fact that Moon, you used that, it's such a strong aggressive spot, and you played it like obviously fantastically, and you got that quad kill. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That
Way
was
to rep the team, bro.
that was huge, man. So that I think that kind of wraps it up. So yeah, like we said again, like shout out to all the people who were involved. Shout out to everybody that watched. That was really big. It really gave us that sense of legitimacy, and I think it carries that hype forward into the upcoming tournament.
Forward onto dawn, right?
Yeah, forward onto dawn, bro. But I'm gonna leave the link one more time to the Q&A part. But we have some questions that we'll kind of go over here now, and we'll accept some more questions going in. But we'll just kind of get started. So first question, all these are anonymous, so a lot of people end up trolling, which kind of bums me out. But
I mean, you're gonna get that done. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, so if there's any good trolling ones, I mean, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Hit them up if they're not too crazy.
So I'll go with this one. It's very, very easy. It's how would you go about clearing those murder holes? And I think you kind of talked about it earlier. You were at what's the base called? It's on Amrush. It's like the underground one where there's like a mountain.
Kawadi Fortress?
I think, and you were kind of stuck
right?
there.
Top left?
Top left.
Yeah,
you were kind of stuck there
Fortress.
earlier when you were streaming, and there was just like that doorway you could not get through it, and you were like, oh, I could go like another way, but likely that the other doorway is also kind of camped like that. Like
I do say some cringy things like check your corners, check your shadows, and clear those murder holes. But I mean, like, I know maybe it's a meme question, but realistically, like, and that's why I hate maxes, because they like literally stop fight flow. Even in large fights, sometimes you can get away with things and you can really play aggressive and do some things to push the fight forward. And it feels like maxes with NGs kind of just, they're like doors that just like kind of close over that door. So okay, we can't go there. That's closed off. But like, you can use a grenade, bounce off the door to like where the majority of the enemies are, and you can like zone that, or you can take away like a different portion. Like you want to bounce it the other way and like get rid of a corner, and then boom, you can kind of come in and deal with one set of the room instead of dealing with both sets, right? And you can do a triple or quad kill and then really kind of push through, and then hopefully your team follows you. But I don't know, I mean, the maxes take away from that though sometimes. So
yeah,
because you can get that clear and then it's like, oh, sorry, there's 4 maxes there. Good luck.
There's not a lot you can do as a single player when it comes down to clearing literally everyone, because there's just so many people and you only have so much ammo.
You got that lucky resonate. It's not even lucky anymore. It's just, hey, here. Your work is erased.
Wake up, everybody!
TikTok
Nap time's over. Yeah, it's kind of sucks, but I think this is where just lack of coordination with the team kind of comes from, and I think with outfits not really focusing on the old meta of like capturing territory and wanting to like capture a base, stuff like that, you kind of end up just playing solo for like the things you're grinding for, whether it's again kills or a directive. So when you get into those situations when you don't have the ability to coordinate with your team and do like multiple conks, multiple people pushing in at the same time, because a lot of times if you just had everybody pushing at the same time, you'd likely win the fight, but everybody doesn't know when, and then they don't want to die, so it's like, I'm just gonna stay here. So I think coordination's also something, but that's just something hard to find because not a lot of outfits run ops.
Big muscly boy and go in that door, clear that door yourself.
Just hit him with the
tuck a grenade in the corner and then go up in there and clear it.
They're after me, Lucky Charms, brother.
I mean, look at Charms.
So I think that we have just throw a conk, bro. Cross your fingers, get as many as you can, and hopefully they won't get resonated. I think. Here, wait.
That's our only question. Okay, it was really good seeing.
No, we have a bunch more. Great stream, Aeflic and Ghost Rider. I've grinded towards the new implant in hopes that it will get my KD above 1. Unfortunately, this nerf destroys my hopes and dreams. What adjustments would you make to this implant to make it worth the grind? Other than that being a meme question, that was actually a real question.
Say it one more time.
So all this other stuff, basically I've been grinding for this implant, and now the nerf destroys the any reason to get the implant for that person. What adjustments would you make to make this implant make worth the grind? Excuse me, I think they said make twice. It's weird.
Look, man, unless it's something like a simulate where I feel like I have to have it almost, I'm not going to be in a max suit. I'm not going to be in a vehicle and have a gunner and getting those assist skills. I need access to the infantry method of getting this implant. That's not. I don't want to play different playstyle because then I'm not going to.
My question for you is: you have the the Araxium medic armor, right?
Medic.
Or you have like you have heavy, but you also have like medic, right?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you do.
I'll check, but maybe
you have. I know you have a class. I remember seeing this because we were playing and you switched classes, but you switched off of heavy.
Swagged out, right? Got that,
no, you had the Araxi armor, bro. You had the shiny. So you have it. So that means you grind it out like a class that you don't like to play.
Things were different.
I know, but
years ago.
The question is, what would have to be the implant in order to make it worth the grind? Not why isn't it worth the grind for you now?
I don't even.
How good must this implant be for you to like do something like that? It can be as overpowered as you want. I just want to hear what it would take for you to like grind a vehicle out.
It would have to be as worthy as Assimilate, and even Survivalist in its current form is still good. I mean, dude, I think about making the anchor like more like an MSW with the rate of fire. I mean, I think the implant itself is tempting enough to have, if it was going to stay at 8%, right, and not get nerfed into the ground. It's tempting enough to go for it. But then talking to Sunny and other people, it's like, hey, it's okay. It's not like super OP, but I mean, dude, an implant that gave me increased mag size on the anchor, or
true.
Oh, dude, and then when you get level 5, it lowers the first shot multiplier, bro, significantly. Dude, I'd be eating, dude. Oh, TR over here. Let me get my chopsticks. Let me get a little bit of VS. Tasty, bro. I would
quiet down, bro. They might hear you.
I would cut up, bro. I'd be up in there. Bro,
I feel that. I feel that on a spiritual level.
I'm not even joking. Goosies.
Goosebumps.
You can actually see them.
He's got the goosebumps.
Let me clear them so you guys know it don't always look like that. Okay, that's real goosies.
Well, as somebody who already grinded out the implant, I agree with them. Like, it'd have to be, I think, because Aeflic is such a purist. He only plays this one style.
Oh, it's true.
For me,
it's like weird. I don't have fun doing other things. So when I do TR and I'm using the MSW, that's as close as I can get. But if I do Vanu and I'm playing like the Orion or the Beetlejuice, I just don't. Even like streaming, I just do not enjoy it. It's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah, this man is I've been roasting him in his chat. Like, we need variety. Like, give us some more stuff. God. So it's great. It's great to see that it's possible. It would just have to be the craziest implant ever in order to get him to do it.
And the
this is variety for him. He's using a different gun.
I did a little light assault today.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. Or it might have been the lightest armor that you have, Rex. Something like that. Because that one's pretty easy. That one's just get kills.
I'm pretty sure it's just the camo I'm using, but we'll check.
We'll check later. We'll let you guys know next podcast. Feel free to tune in. But yeah, I think for me it would have to be like slow regressive decreases to the strength of the implant rather than just like one really big nerf to it.
Let's do one or two big words at a time. Let's break down your sentence there.
Regressive meaning go backwards and slow meaning slow.
I said break it down. Don't treat me like a child.
Bro, I'm just telling you the words, bro. But yeah, that or it'd have to be, because I already did it, so I guess this question doesn't really apply to me because I did the grind. But to warrant me doing the grind 2 more times, it would have to either be as good as it was, or it'd have to be something that still makes it usable in certain situations. Getting it to that point where it's like, I think Assimilate is probably the pinnacle of like, it's a great implant, but it's not game breaking, because getting that extra shield,
skill play.
Exactly, it rewards skilled play, but it doesn't make you invincible. It doesn't make you crazy. It's a good mixture of the two. So here's another question. We'll just knock out the last troll one. Do you think Vax would have done better if it had more primary shooters?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we didn't have Kawhi, which arguably is, depending on the match in the faction who are playing in the map, yada yada yada, is top 3, and that can go from he's the best to second best or third best, and even Moon's up there. He was kind of carrying in those matches that I was looking at. So, I mean, we didn't have Kawhi, but we needed him. and I was on vacation, you know.
And we needed you.
Yeah, and I don't know. I hate to say it, I've been inconsistent at best, and you know, I could pop off, I could not. So I think we needed Kawhi, and we needed me, and maybe, you know, things would have been different. I don't know. We needed more primary shooters. That's a 100%. Our team is very, very small in regards to our availability.
There's not as much depth as like a Ziz or a Beehot.
Well, like the 6 stack that we have requires the pillars. You know, we have to have these people available, and then we can fill in if, like, you know,
one or two, like, or not even two, because we had 2 missing. So if one person's missing, it's okay.
Some of these people have, like, there could be maybe one person missing. Like, we don't have depth on our roster. It's like we have some depth in some of the other areas, but no.
Agreed. So we have a couple. Oh, you had a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you for subbing to Aeflic and not me. Appreciate it. I'm just kidding. Yo, 5 months, bro.
Cut that out.
Yo.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that for real. Really do.
So here are like the real questions. Now that we kind of got those out the way.
Those are actually decent questions, though.
Yeah, not bad. It's just that they're muddy. They're muddied by the memes.
That's okay. People love it, so you gotta have the meme in there.
Wondering if this most recent update has created a sense of burnout within any of you. I know I and many others are now burnt out when just a week before we were excited about the future and having fun. Even in 6v6 we were burnt out.
Okay. I don't know who put that in there. It's anonymous, right? There's some teams out there that are screaming. I don't know if it's true, but they said like 3 times a day. That will create burnout, especially in a game that's 8 years old. Okay, that will create burnout. And then you throw a directive on top of it that you might not like the gameplay, and you grind it so hard and so fast to get it right because you want to be the first to test it, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's going to create burnout. That's why I don't do those things. That's why you don't, like, Aeflic, why are you not playing the Banu? It's like, dude, if I play that, then I'm going to log out after like 20 minutes. I do what's enjoyable for me. And sadly, yeah, it's anchor heavy. I'm sorry. Like, that's what, like, I can, like, do that for 2 hours or 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? So you just, whatever you like to do in the game, and if that means you play for 30 minutes and you have fun and that's it, then you log out, and then that's what you do. You don't tax yourself too far, you know?
Yeah.
And I've run into that numerous times with, like, streaming and like, okay, I need to hit 200,000 anchor kills. I need to get 100,000 anchor kills. I need to do this. Like, now that Rel made this gold anchor for me, it's like I feel obligated to use it, right? Because that would be kind of a waste to not use it. So like now I'm like, okay, now I gotta grind out 100,000 gold anchor kills, you know? And you gotta be careful with this. These are long-term goals, but like sometimes you try to rush them, right? I need to beat Full Metal Savage. I need to be the #1 NC Emerald kills of all time, right? It's like, relax, dude. Like, what happens if you hit all your goals? Then what, you're gonna quit the game? Like, okay, relax, get there slowly. It's okay. These are long-term goals for a reason. And that's just the most important thing, is slow down and just enjoy it. If you only enjoy it for 30 minutes, you only want to play lifestyle, that's fine.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think it's also one of those, burnout it's a thing that happens across the board, regardless of whether it's I am playing a game, I'm doing a job, I have a hobby. Like, because I look at it as a musician, like, I get burnt out making music. Like, I just cannot stand to, like, hear my voice sometimes, or I'll look at this song that I'm trying to make and it's like I don't feel like I have the skills to make it as good as I want it to be. Like, what's in my head isn't matching what I'm putting on my, like, on my whatever the DAW that I'm using. It's a DAW is a digital audio workshop or workplace, whatever you want to call it. But the, like, it won't match up, and then I'll start to get frustrated, and then I'll get burnt out. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. But that isn't a permanent thing. You have to look at it in the sense of your burnout is just you telling yourself that you're frustrated and that you clearly want to do something, but you're not being put in a situation that allows for you to get to that final goal. And you need to do something else to either better prepare yourself mentally, or even if it's a sport, like physically. Like, you have to get to this point where your mind is ready to do the thing that you're trying to get yourself to do. And if you're in this frustrated sort of mindset, you're not going to get there. And even if you did get there, you're not going to be as happy with yourself as if you were clear-minded and you were really focused. So trying to force yourself to play the game is not the way to go about it. Like, taking a break is probably the biggest thing. Like, I've noticed James, I would watch him like every day while I was working, because OBTTV. I love James. James is such a good guy.
He needs a cam, and I think his stream would be right there. I'm just saying, in 2020 you need to have a cam. I agree.
I agree.
Regardless of what you look like, no one cares.
Yeah.
I get mean for my hairline. I wear a hat. You can't get me.
I have orange pink Charmander hair. Like it doesn't matter. Like we're all people, and I think we're all really respectful of each other too, even if we meme a lot.
And he's well known in the community. Like, you know,
He's so
like,
nice.
so,
It doesn't. He could
yeah.
literally be like, I don't even know. He could be whatever he is, and I would still love him because he's so
Could
kind.
be Richard's twin brother. It's possible.
But like James is, I haven't seen him stream in like a week now because he's just taking a break from the game, and it's not like he's never gonna come back. He still plans on playing in PIL, but he wants to make sure he doesn't burn out. It's almost like a preemptive measure to make sure that when he needs to put that effort in, he's not already coming in with this negative mindset. So if you feel like you're getting burnt out from the game or from 6v6, now is the perfect time to take a break.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have until September to get your team ready, to get yourself ready, and it only being late July right now, you have basically till the end of this month to just take a break, take it easy, try out some other games.
Really, really good point.
Yeah.
This is like, this for PIL people, this is really, really important. And like, I take PIL too seriously and my team doesn't, and like there's some friction there. So make sure you guys have communication for the team. Whoever your team captain is needs to be that point man for that, and needs to facilitate the communication. Like some teams are going to double down in this transition phase where you should be probably taking a break, and people are going to burn out, and then teams are either going to fall apart, and we have enough teams where it won't really matter, or players are going to drop off and it's going to hurt the roster, right? And that's what my team's dealing with, right? So you have to have clear communication. You need to have a good leader that can organize everything and keep the team together and facilitate that communication between the different people, and you got to take a break, and only one team can come out winning, okay? So it's like,
Manage your expectations.
yeah, and the thing is, have fun with it, man. Enjoy it. Like, B-Way, you maybe you want to have a lot to prove, or Ram, you have a lot to prove, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Whatever you do, whatever place you get, enjoy it, so that next time if we do another tournament, you come back. It's not something where you feel embarrassed or like you did poorly or something like that. Like, I mean, you can take the Kawhi clip, right? I don't know. We broke it down the other day of him like missing all those shots, right? And it's like, you got to laugh it off, man. Like, and you got to take that. You know, Kawhi's a good player. Everyone messes up. But you don't quite didn't rage quit after that because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm terrible. It's
He took it like a champ, honestly. Like he likes the fact that it is a meme. Yeah, and I think
exactly.
the last
Have
thing,
fun with it, dude. You have to have fun with it. And
There
don't
are-
overtrain yourself.
there are ways to improve your team that don't involve playing the game, and increasing like your team's cohesion by like playing other games. Like me, Aeflic, Coach, and Kawhi, we played so much Escape from Tarkov before PIL happened, and like we play better together, in my opinion, because like we played other games together and we're used to playing together. We didn't completely just back away from each other and stop talking. So like we'd hang out in TeamSpeak, we'd play games together, it made it so that we didn't get to this point where we come back and we get more frustrated at each other, because again, like, we've been playing games before, we're used to getting mad at each other. If somebody yells at the other person, it's like, well, I'm used to it because I probably did something stupid, and like I might yell back, but it doesn't get to the point that it escalates to like a big argument. So there's a lot of different ways to get yourself to the point where even though you are burnt out, you can kind of manage your burnout and make sure that it's almost like a calculated decision of like, I'm not going to play the game and I'm going to do something else just to make sure that when I do want to really focus in on the game, I'm not coming in with this negative mindset. So don't feel guilty, I guess, that you're burning out. It's understandable. I burnt out and I left for 5 years. I still came back. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I popped the flare, I went, and then I had the exfil helicopter come and take me, bro. But I guess this one also kind of talks about it. Are you afraid with this summer directive that older players who return to live at this time will quit and never come back?
Dude, Planetside has been Planetside for 8 years. Lots of things have changed, and lots of things haven't changed. The game really hasn't changed. It is still Planetside in a nutshell. I mean, it's not like maxes were never in Planetside and you come back to it, now there's maxes. It's like, dude, Zoe Max was rampant for 6 months. Okay, like there's doesn't matter what game you play, there will be something that is cheesy, something that you don't like. They could get rid of maxes for me, and you know, bolts for other people over here, and orbital strikes for this person over there. It doesn't matter. You will move to the next thing. You will not like that, and you will bitch and complain about it. Okay, so it's the same game, man, and that's why we're still playing it. So as a vet, if you come back to it, you might have missed that. And there are some things that yes have changed, like outfits have really died off. And I think next week we're gonna be talking about outfits in depth. I don't know, we might have to do a 2-part series or something. Because I think that's the backbone of the game. But I mean, you come back, I don't think there's anything lost there. I think I've been playing for so long that like I have gone from that Zerg fit all the way to like this other side where like I see the game differently, but I think it's still the same. I'm just not back here anymore, right? Yeah, that's how I answer that, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's almost like practicing acceptance that I think is the biggest thing that a player can do to better not burn out, because this is still on the topic of burnout, and we could honestly probably do a podcast on just burnout too. Like, it's such a big thing. I remember we were thinking about talking about tilting as well, so that those are two things that are kind of semi-related. Yeah,
I have lots of things actually.
But my big thing that I've come to do is just practicing acceptance of whatever the situation is, because the game is so volatile. There's no way that the devs or the player base can control what happens in the game in order for it to be consistent enough that you're always going to be able to do the same things that you want to do every day. It's impossible, because everybody has conflicting ideas and conflicting beliefs of what the game should be, or like what I want to do today. That if I come in and I want to grind out my MSWR or something like that, but there's only like armor battles, I shouldn't get mad and try to force. It's almost like trying to smash like a square brick into like one of those triangle holes. It's not going to work. I'm just going to get mad and I'm going to like get pissed off. So it's either practicing acceptance of like the state of the game today is not going to match up with what I wanted to do in the game, or it's let me adapt. I'm going to go get the triangle block and I'm going to do that instead. Like and those are two things. It's like I don't want to use vehicles, so I'm just going to log off, unfortunately, today. And that's nothing that's in anybody's control. But I'm not going to get mad that the game is like this, because you have to think about it as well. It's almost like a democracy type thing, where it's like if everybody that's playing the game wants to use a tank, I'm just in this vocal minority of like, why aren't there any biolab fights? It's like, bro, the state of the game at this current hour isn't the same as it doesn't align with what you want to do in the game. But that's kind of what I've learned to do recently. If I log in and I see the game is just the fights aren't that good, I'll switch factions if there's a fight that's for the other faction that kind of matches the playstyle that I want to do. But if none of the factions have that, then I'm not going to get mad. I'm just going to log off. There's no point like rage posting against like the devs or getting mad at somebody else for killing you with the tank. Like, these are all, you just have to practice acceptance and accept the fact that you're not going to get what you want today, and either wait an hour and come back, or wait a day and come back.
10 minutes. That's what people are always like, how are fights? And I say the same thing, like, how are fights? Like, when Vert was streaming, and it's like, dude, fights are bad or they're great, and then literally after you say that, the fight's done and there's nothing, or then there's 3 fights that you can go to. Like, it's always changing. That's Planetside. And the thing is, like, if you're an actual vet that's coming back, you should know that you need to give it time. You need to learn the new meta, like what's going on, everything that's new, and kind of immerse yourself in that, and then give your judgment on whether or not you want to stay around. But I mean, the reason that you love the game are still here, right? The gunplay for me is still good. That's why I play. The community is still there. That's why I play.
Sure.
I love how this is supposed to be a 30-minute short podcast. But anyway, continue.
When did we say 30 minutes, bro? That's not a pod. That's like an episode of a sitcom.
I'm like, dude, let's do a quick podcast.
A quickie, bro.
Thursday.
Nah, we talk too much,
I love it,
bro.
though. I love it.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. We have 2 more questions, but they're kind of the same, down the same lines. Yeah, so one is, do you think directive weapons need a rework, or something the devs need to look at, especially for TR and NC directive weapons?
I'm gonna try to short answer this, because I think that's actually not a bad topic.
Yeah, we might. That should have been put in the what would you like to see us talk about next thing.
So
yeah, we'll just do a quick one.
On this.
Yeah, I got you.
Beetlejuice is the prime example of what a directive weapon should be. It should be. It's hard to do that, right? There's a lot of weapons you got to do, but it's unique, it's useful, and even like when it first dropped, I mean, it was OP, but it was better than the Orion, right? It was a direct upgrade. You grind for this because it's better, right? I like that idea. Or it's just different with the heat mechanic, which is what it is now, and it can benefit a certain playstyle. And I think it's the pinnacle of that upgrade. The God Saw just doesn't feel like. I mean, it's good. I was using a little bit today. But it doesn't have that feel like the Beetlejuice does, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can get that feel, I don't know how you do it. That's a lot of work and a lot of, balance and testing, but like that is the Beetlejuice is the pinnacle of it. And I do think most of the weapons need a rework. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want to go too deep, because I think we could have a good topic about this.
Agreed. Yeah, I think they're almost seen as gimmicks versus really, because I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's the features versus gimmick argument, where a feature is usually seen as a positive addition to something, whereas a gimmick is usually seen as a negative addition to something. So I think the argument that a majority of the player base has is what the directive weapons for the Vanu sovereignty give is a feature, whereas what the TR and NC get is almost seen as a gimmick, where it's like the TR gets like a bigger mag size, but it doesn't feel as cool. So it's seen as a gimmick. And then same with the
damage vehicles.
Yeah, and it's like, NC can damage vehicles by changing the fire mode selector. So that's also seen as like a gimmick, because it's not as applicable as like unlimited ammo.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Could you imagine if they changed it and you don't have to alt fire? It's just part of the bullets. Like, you just do, like, the Godsaw, like, damages max is like twice as much.
Oh, I think that would make it so much more useful, because it's like you could focus like a max and then just switch to, like, you don't have to kill the max, be like, oh, I gotta switch fire modes, and then I agree, that'd be cool.
They're cool. I mean, you have to test it, but the thing with directive weapons, and I'm sorry if I again cut you off, man, I just get so excited. It goes back to the anchor grind, right? I love using the anchor. I want to use it all the time. If you give me a gold Carnage AR, I grinded for nothing. I get the Carnage AR, and what do I use? I still use the anchor, right? I get a gold anchor, I use the anchor, and now I use the gold anchor. That, like, it feels like, okay, I've gotten the directive weapon, and I'm not going to use it. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I don't use
Besides,
the Godsaw ever.
I mean, the Godsaw's D's, but like, there's a lot of other like off ones that are just like the Guardian or something. It's like no one uses it.
Yeah.
You have it, but it's not useful enough. Sorry, I really am done talking about it.
Yeah, so we'll leave it for another thing, but I think the overall thing is like that me and Aeflic kind of agree here is that it should be like the feature versus gimmick argument. It should make the player feel like this is a cool feature addition to something. It's not something that overpowers the weapon and makes it insanely great, but it's also not seen as like a gimmick. And it's not just like, oh, I get this thing that I'm never going to use, or it just looks shiny now, that's it. So we'll leave that for probably another episode, because we could go on for like another hour, to be honest. But the last question is, do you think another weapon overhaul would make more primary weapons viable?
Something I think actually is in chat today, and I could be wrong because I don't play that many games, but there's always going to be a meta. Somebody's going to figure out and crunch the numbers. There's going to be these two guns. You should be using this gun. You should be using this loadout, this tool slot, this whatever. There's going to be, it's going to funnel up. There's going to be the best stuff to use that people say, and then there's going to be like, it's going to break out like that. There's never going to be, all the LMGs are not going to be viable. Mm-hmm. Look at Warzone, right? There's plenty of dog shit weapons in there. There's no point in making them all viable, and that plays a little differently because it's a BR and like you can kind of scale up in as you go. But there's just no way to make all the weapons viable, right? Like that's kind of why you have classes to me. Like if you want you want to be a sniper, like okay, that's what you play, or you want to be a medic. Like there's things that like they have their own categories and they have their unique weapons. But then when you get into the weapons, it's like you just can't have 12 great LMGs. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. You're going to have one or two great weapons that are meta that people are going to use. Otherwise, you're going to play a different class, right? That's how I look at it as, and that's what I feel like most games in general are. Like, even like StarCraft 2, like you have different builds and things, but they're still meta builds, right? They're still like the way to go. And like, yeah, StarCraft 2 might have like a way more builds that are decent or something like that, but the same thing applies. There's always a meta in the game. Yeah. And that's... with weapons, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and the only way to achieve that sense of like every weapon being viable for every situation just makes them being the exact same gun. So having all these different primary weapons, it just becomes the situation where all the guns end up just being the same. Like if they all have if they all have the exact effective TTK, like they're basically the same gun. They're just different skins of the same gun. So I think right now there are weapons that are seen as the jack of all trade weapons, but I think outside of the VS, the TR and the NC have like the two arguably best guns, where it's like the NC is like it's the Gauss saw versus the anchor crowd, and then for TR it's kind of like the Watchmen versus the MSWR crowd. I'm not too sure about VS. I'm pretty sure it's just Orion across the board. I guess you could say it's Orion versus Beetlejuice, but like they're literally the same gun, just one with a different mechanic on it. And then the other one, it's like, do you want a laser sight so you can better hip fire, or do you want unlimited ammo? But I think that's kind of the thing. The other guns are very situational. Like, they're not jack of all trades by far, but they're not useless. It's just that they're not, if you bring it down to a competitive 6v6 atmosphere, then the Anchor and the Gossa are the best weapons. Like, you're not going to use an EM6 because that gun isn't made for that situation. And I think that should be the mindset of a player that's kind of looking at these primary weapons of what's viable and what's not. Because when you have something that has like a massive magazine size, like, it's great that you have this huge mag, but there has to be a downside to the fact that you have so much ammo. Right. So it's kind of like that mixed bag, and I think that's why there is that argument of like, oh, some weapons aren't as viable as others, but at the end of the day, every weapon has its own niche, and what you think as a player, and I say you as in like the royal you, if you think that only this gun is really good, it's probably because it's the gun that best suits your playstyle. It's not the best gun in the game because it's the best gun in the game.
Well, plus if you do too much tweaking, like let's say you take LMGs, right, and you want to make them all unique. Essentially, you're gonna make an LMG that's like an SMG, and then you're gonna make an LMG that's like a long range, like a bolt. Like you're just gonna stretch it so far that the LMGs are gonna do what the other classes of guns do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, you're limited. You're very limited. And honestly, the dev team has done a decent enough job with. I mean, people can use the Promise, and it's not like this complete dog shit weapon. Like, I don't think it's worth it, but some people actually enjoy it. It's like weird. Like, I think they've done enough to make them niche enough or cool enough that people actually still use them. And there's people out there that are diehard EM1 fans, and it pains me to know that they're alive and they're using these weapons. But there's only so much you can do, and obviously there's map revamping, base revamps are more important than weapon revamps. Yeah. The gunplay, I think, is the best part of the game. I don't think we need to worry about it too much.
Yeah, definitely. But that's it for our questions, man. We did it.
Hey, shout out Interlude, thanks, man. Appreciate that. And Rel, thanks for the follow, brother. Appreciate that as well. Nice.
Yeah, and it was cool having Rel come by. Thanks for passing by, man. It's cool to have that sort of interaction, and it's not even really like us feeling like we're being heard type thing, but just having that interaction it's cool. It lets us know that the team that makes the game is engaged also with the community of like what we're thinking about. So really appreciate you, and then everybody else honestly coming by too. Really good questions. I liked today because there were meme questions, but the meme was wrapped around like a good question at its core. So we had some good stuff to talk about.
Something. It was good. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Dang, bro. You're the one that said it.
But you got anything you want to shout out, bro?
Hey, man, shout out Anchors. Really, I mean, shout out Shoctor for you do all the legwork on this, because I'm an idiot and I should probably learn. So appreciate you doing this. I just talk. If you need help, I will do it. Shout out Anchors for the editing. I know you're busy, so you haven't done the Twitch highlights. But shout out to you, even doing the thumbnail part with the little. I don't even the
thumbnails
design
are so cool, bro. I love our thumbnails.
Yeah, it's really cool. Shout out to the dev team for making the game. Like I said, we enjoy it and we hate it, but we enjoy it enough to where we do complain about it. There's plenty of games that I hate. I don't play them. I don't talk about them.
Yeah, this is almost like
about the game because you only complain about it because you like it.
Yeah, this is almost like our therapeutic measure of like not because we're lashing out, but in a positive, almost one-to-one sort of way where we think about things logically rather than responding irrationally. So I'm gonna spam your YouTube link here, guys. Feel free to give Aeflic a sub on YouTube.
More videos. That's what we're doing the podcast, and we will eventually roll out Twitch highlights. So please sub to it. That'd be dope. And if you guys have feedback, feel free to comment on it. And there's been like little things that like people have said that like, okay, we can do this with the podcast. This is why I got a new headset, right? Because the sound was so bad, and maybe it's still bad, but I think it's better.
No, it's good, bro.
So critique the podcast, critique the highlight, whatever. We want to make it enjoyable for you guys. That's why we're doing it. It's just we're creating it for the community, and it's just so much fun to interact with the community. And you got to remember, if you're not an infantry elitist and you're like, hey man, mechs are cool or vehicles are cool, like shout out to us, man. We're going to talk to you. We're not going to shoot you down. We would like to hear from all the community, and like sometimes we do get a little like too infantry focused, and we probably alienate.
It's that
90%
group
of
thing. We're like also like wrapped around people that agree with us that we never listen to the outside. So I agree. So yeah, give them a sub. And also, it's like, if you missed any of the beginning, I loved the beginning. We didn't even talk about Planetside at the beginning. We talked about Vacation, the Xbox showcase. That was fun too. So if you came in late and you missed any of that, the whole VOD or the whole podcast will be uploaded to his channel as well. So you can check that out. And then also, here's my Twitch. Feel free to give that a follow as well. I'm playing, obviously, I play Planetside as well. And I've been playing through Sekiro, or not Sekiro, my bad. Ghost of Tsushima. I keep confusing the two. So yeah, feel free to give me a follow as well.
Yes.
But outside of that, I think that's a wrap, bro. I think that's GG.
Give us some name suggestions. Andan's right. We do need to figure our name out, but
Yeah,
we're only a couple.
gotta-
We're still new, man. We're still feeling it out.
Yeah, we're feeling it out right now. The Aeflic Shoctor podcast is cool for right now, but we'll figure out what we want to do next. But yeah, I've been shocked.
Dream Boys.
Rel's Dream Boys. But yeah, I've been Shoctor. This has been Aeflic, and we'll see you guys very soon for the next one. Have a good night, guys.
Double Deuce crossover later.
Hey, is that Lil Yachty and Keemstar?
Do that shit in real life. Fucking cocksuckers.
So clutch.